My farm is in the desert. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 14, Zenwujiro, Part 2. In the countryside, most people go to work during the day. So when Cai Hongming came to his aunt's village, it was quiet everywhere, and not even a dog could be seen. Aunt. Cai Hongming came to the door of his aunt's house and shouted loudly. His aunt Cai Hongming's house is a 3-story building with a small stone courtyard in front. Now the iron gate is locked. This made Cai Hongming a little annoyed, thinking that he should have called before coming, and he didn't know if his aunt was at home. His uncle is a seafood collector. In the afternoon, he mostly drives to the nearby coastal villages to collect seafood and then sells it to various restaurants in the city. His aunt sometimes goes to help, and I don't know if she went today. After calling for a long time, seeing that no one came out, Cai Hongming wanted to leave. Unexpectedly, the window on the second floor opened at this time, and a head poked out from inside. He took a look, and it was his cousin Cai Hong. "Brother, you're back," Cai Hong shouted when she saw Cai Hongming. "Well, come down and open the door. I brought you something delicious." "Wait a minute." Cai Hong came down to open the door, and Cai Hongming drove the motorcycle in. "Why didn't you go to work today?" "Rest." "Where's my aunt?" "She went shopping," Cai Hongming asked as he drove the motorcycle in, then moved the things on the motorcycle into the house, and took out a bag of candied fruit made from elixir jade for his cousin to eat. After chatting with his cousin for a few words, he saw that his aunt had not come back yet, so he took a bucket from home, went to the kitchen to find a small stick and a knife, and walked to the beach. At home, besides his mother, he has the best relationship with his aunt, because he can be said to have been raised by his aunt. After his aunt got married, he often came here to eat and drink. This can be said to be his second home besides Kajia village. There is actually a reason why people in Zenwei village do not eat by the sea, because the place where the village faces the sea is a rocky beach, and it is impossible to dock ships. Usually when the tide is high, the stones are submerged by the sea and cannot be seen, but when the tide is low, you can see the huge rocks standing in the sea like pillars. Sailing in such places is the most dangerous. If you are not careful, you will be hit by underwater reefs, and the ship will be destroyed, and people will die. It is low tide now. Cai Hongming came to the beach and saw huge rocks exposed above the sea standing in the sea. Waves hit them and splashed countless waves. On the beach, tiny hermit crabs crawled around unscrupulously. When they saw people coming, they quickly retracted into their shells. This thing has no meat and tastes bad, so Cai Hongming was too lazy to start. He came to the beach flooded by the sea and stood there. After waves surged onto the beach and receded, small holes would appear on the sand surface and bubbles would keep coming out. He looked at it, picked up a small stick and dug into the hole, and a small sand clam appeared in front of him. This thing doesn't have much meat, but it tastes good when boiled in soup. He hasn't had this kind of soup for a long time, so he plans to dig some back and cook it. However, he will probably be scolded by his aunt when he goes back, because people at the beach despise these things the most. They are small and have no meat. What's so delicious about them? However, cheap things at the beach have a certain value in the market. If the sand clams are as big as the thickness of a thumb, they can be sold for 5 yuan per pound, 2 or 3 yuan for the smaller ones, and about 10 yuan for the larger ones. After digging a few sand clams and seeing that they were enough to make a soup, Cai Hongming stopped digging, took off his shoes, and crawled towards the rocks standing in the sea. Rows of dog claw snails grew between the cracks of the rocks in the sea, which was what he was looking for this time. Dog claw snails are also called sea chicken claws, and in Western countries they are called ghost claw snails. They are called seafood from hell. Although this kind of thing has little meat, it tastes very fresh, and few people will forget it after eating it once. Cai Hongming dug a little, and saw that it was enough to stir fry a dish, so he stopped digging. These things are delicious when they are fresh, but they are not so delicious if they are left overnight. In addition to dog claw snails, there are also seaweed and oysters on the rocks. The seaweed has no taste, so he is too lazy to pick it, so he turned to look for oysters on the rocks. This piece of rock is the best place for oysters to gather. Although the people of Zenwei village do not go to the sea, the women of the village come here every morning to dig oysters and sell them in the market. The oysters on the rocks are often dug, so they are very small. However, even if they are small, they can still be sold for about 15 yuan per pound after being slightly packaged in the market. The closer to the sea, the smaller the oysters are, because there are often people digging there, so Cai Hongming tries to jump to the rocks far away to see if he can dig up larger oysters. Everyone knows that oysters are delicious. Lazy people who don't want to cook just boil them in boiling water and dip them in soy sauce and vinegar to make them a rare delicacy. If you are more careful, grill them with garlic. The taste is so beautiful that you can swallow your tongue. Especially this kind of freshly dug wild oysters, the taste is even more delicious. Cai Hongming took the knife he brought and knocked a piece of oyster meat from the oyster attached to the rock and put it in his mouth. The delicious taste was refreshing and memorable. Oysters are not only delicious food, but also a Chinese medicine. Compendium of Materia Medica records. Eating more can make the skin fine, nourish the kidneys and strengthen yang, and can cure deficiency and relieve erysipelas. Modern medicine believes that oysters have 7 major effects. 1. Strengthen the liver and detoxify. 2. Improve sexual function. 3. Purify blood stasis. 4. Recover from fatigue. 5. Nourish the skin. 6. Improve immunity. 7. Promote metabolism. Most of the people who come here to dig oysters from Zenwei village are women. They dig in the seawater, where they can stand, and rarely dig far away. The place where Cai Hongming came is quite far from the beach, and people can't stand, so there are more and bigger oysters here. He dug for a while, and when he saw that he had enough to eat, he jumped back to the shore and planned to go back. Just after jumping onto the soft sand, his feet suddenly felt empty and sank in. It seemed that he stepped on something under his feet, which was strange. Could it be a shell? He has come to the beach so many times, and he has seen countless small shells, but he has never seen a big one. Could it be that business is coming today? Cai Hongming thought, raised his feet, put down the bucket, and dug into the sand with the wooden stick he brought. After a while, he saw the things below. Cai Hongming dug it up and saw that it was a football-sized stone-like object, slightly white in color, very light, and smelled a bit fragrant. He didn't know what it was. Suddenly, he thought of something, and an expression of disbelief appeared on his face. Chapter 15 Ambergris. 2012. The British Daily Mail reported, Charlie Naismith, an 8-year-old boy, found a large beige stone on the beach while playing. The surface of the stone seemed to be coated with wax and had a faint fragrance. Charlie thought the stone was very interesting and took it home. However, Charlie's parents recognized that it was not an ordinary stone, so they took it to an expert for examination and found that it was a piece of ambergris. The ambergris that Charlie picked up weighed 600 grams. As soon as the news came out, someone immediately offered $63,000 to buy it. It is reported that Charlie's family is still looking for ambergris, but Charlie has already thought about how to use this treasure he picked up. He plans to use the money from selling ambergris to build an animal shelter. This is not the first time someone has found ambergris. In 2006, an Australian couple saw a strange object on the beach. Out of curiosity, the couple took it home. After consulting a marine biologist, they determined that it was precious ambergris. Ambergris is a dried product of the intestinal secretions of sperm whales. Some sperm whales will vomit out the condensed material, while others will excrete it from the intestines. Only a small number of sperm whales will keep the ambergris in their bodies. Ambergris is a precious spice and a precious raw material highly sought after by perfume manufacturers. Each pound, about 454 grams, is worth up to £6,300. Due to its high price and rarity, ambergris is also known as floating gold. In 2008, someone also found a £110 piece of ambergris, with a total price of up to £500,000. Ambergris is mainly used as a fixative for perfumes, which helps the perfumes last longer. However, due to the difficulty in finding it and environmental factors, most of them now use chemical synthetic spices. But chemical things can't compare with natural ones after all, which is why the price of natural ambergris is getting more and more expensive. Cai Hongming remembered the newspapers about ambergris he had seen before, and when he thought that the ping pong ball sized stone-like thing in his hand might be ambergris, he became excited. Now this thing is no longer a stone in his eyes, but gold. He didn't know if it was a psychological effect, but he felt that the stone in his hand was getting more fragrant. It was easy to prove whether the thing in his hand was ambergris. He could just burn a little bit and see. However, he didn't have a lighter, so he put the stone into the cave paradise in the jade tripod and planned to try again when he got home. After putting the things away, he was a little greedy, thinking that he didn't know if there was more below. So, he continued to dig down. Unexpectedly, there was more below. In the end, he dug out a piece that was almost the size of an armful, a piece the size of a football, and a piece the size of a palm, a total of 3 pieces of ambergris. He had already thought about it. He would keep the big one and sell the ping pong ball sized and palm sized ambergris. This kind of thing would only become more and more valuable. It would be a bit stupid to sell it so early. He didn't expect that he would have such a surprise when he came here to dig some things to eat. He was so happy that he couldn't close his mouth. Eat food again. Have you washed your hands? In the kitchen, Cai Hongming saw her daughter secretly reaching out to grab something from the plate and scolded her unhappily. I washed it early. Cai Hongming took the cooked crab and ate it, saying, Mom, you didn't make so many delicious dishes when I was at home. As soon as my brother came back, you made so many. You are really biased. Oh, I usually abuse you and didn't cook delicious dishes for you? Well, starting from tomorrow, our family will cook porridge with sweet potatoes in the morning, white rice, pickles and braised eggs at noon, and white porridge with soy milk at night. What do you think? Isn't it life-threatening to do so? Seeing that her mother was serious, Cai Hongming hugged her mother's shoulders and said coquettishly, Mom, actually I want to say that you are the best to me. Cai Hongming snorted and said, what's the use of being the best? In the end, you still have to get married. Alas, it feels like the pigs we raise at home. They are fat and white, but we don't even eat a bite ourselves and have to give them away. It's a pity. Mom, is there such a metaphor? You are a pig. Is it wrong for me to say that? Cai Hongming said strangely. Mom. Cai Hongming was very angry. As soon as Cai Hongming entered the house, he heard the conversation between his aunt and cousin in the kitchen and couldn't help laughing. Is there anyone who compares his daughter to a pig? When he walked into the kitchen, he saw his cousin eating a big red crab next to his aunt, which made him drool. When Cai Hongming saw him, she immediately said, Hongming is back. Your mother said you would come back a few days ago, but I didn't expect you to go somewhere else to play. Be careful that your mother will come back to settle accounts with you. Don't be afraid, you are here with your aunt. Cai Hongming said to his aunt with a grin. I can't help you. Cai Hongming rolled her eyes at him and saw that he was holding a bucket in his hand. She leaned over and looked at it. She found that it was the same old things again and couldn't help saying, you went to dig these things again. What's so delicious about these? I dig them every time I come back. Go wash them and I'll cook them for you later. Cai Hongming received the order and hurried to wash them. Later, Kishan came back from selling seafood and started to cook. Cai Hongming knew that Cai Hongming was coming back, so she specially left the fattest steamed red crab vermicelli and kimbeer for the day. The taste was really amazing. This seafood feast made Cai Hongming's belly bulge, and crab oil flowed from the corners of his mouth. After eating, Kishan specially took out a bottle of wine that he had collected for a long time, but unfortunately Cai Hongming didn't like to drink this stuff at all. Uncle, what's so good about wine? Didn't my mother send you sea buckthorn wine? Go and drink that. That one is homemade and has been stored for nearly 10 years. I asked your father to buy it for me, just waiting to entertain guests in the future. You have drunk it there before. Why drink that thing? Drink this, which costs hundreds of dollars a bottle? Seeing him say that, Cai Hongming had to bite the bullet and drink the wine. He really didn't like this kind of wine. It was so sour. He liked it sweeter. After taking a few sips of wine, Lucashan asked, "Do you have anything to do tomorrow?" "No." "Then come early tomorrow and I'll take you fishing." Cai Hongming curled his lips in disdain. "Uncle, do I need you to take me fishing? Everyone in the village knows that I'm good at fishing. I can catch fish as soon as I hook the hook." As he spoke, he showed off a fishing posture. Cai Huang couldn't stand it and said, "Yes, especially in other people's fish ponds. Fish will be caught faster, otherwise they wouldn't be chased home." Pucci Lukiahan laughed out loud. She had heard her mother talk about the embarrassing things her cousin did when he was a child. It was said that once he went to someone else's fish pond to fish with his friends and was chased by others so much that he hid at home and didn't dare to come out. In the end, it was her grandfather who came out to settle it. Cai Hongming was a little embarrassed by what he said, scratched his head and said, "That's also a skill." Cai Huang rolled her eyes and was about to make a few more ridicules when Lucashan spoke up. "I'm not taking you to fish in the pond, but in the sea. The fish in the sea are big, and it's fun to fish. Do you have a boat?" Cai Hongming remembered that his uncle didn't seem to have a boat. "Of course I have one," Lucashan said proudly. "What's so proud of a second-hand broken boat? I told you to buy a new one a long time ago, but you just didn't listen. Now it's good. You repair it every day and the money you spend is enough to buy a new one." Cai Huang said angrily beside him. "Didn't I think it was unnecessary to buy a new one? Who knew that the boat was so bad?" Lucashan saw his wife angry and quickly explained. It turned out that this year he bought a small island not far from the village and planned to charge people for fishing. Of course, you need a boat to travel to the island, but he couldn't bear to spend a lot of money on a new one, so he bought a second-hand boat. Who knew that the boat would break down every other day after it was bought, and it cost a huge sum of money just to repair it. Cai Huang couldn't help but be angry. Chapter 16 Catching Crabs on the Island. After returning from his aunt's house, Cai Hongming hurriedly took out 3 pieces of stones he thought were ambergris from the beach from the cave in the jade tripod, then scraped off a little bit of the stone with a knife and lit it with a lighter. Suddenly, a surge of fragrance filled the whole room. Smelling the fragrance, Cai Hongming's eyes instantly shone like gold. At this time, his heart had only 2 words: rich. The vast blue waves and the fierce sea breeze. Cai Hongming stood on the 8-meter-long second-hand boat that his uncle had parked at the port of the next village and looked at it carefully. At first, he thought he bought a kind of motor sailboat for fishing, but it turned out not to be the case, but a yacht. The yacht is all white, divided into upper and lower floors, and the interior decoration looks very old, which is the style of the 1900s to 2000, but it still looks very new. "Uncle, your boat is good. Why is my aunt not satisfied?" Cai Hongming asked curiously. "It looks good in appearance, but the engine is always broken, and the circuit is also a bit problematic. I was greedy at the time, and didn't ask someone to help check it, otherwise this wouldn't have happened." Lucashan sighed. "Then replace them all to save the trouble of repairing them all," Cai Hongming said with a lavish look. "Do you think it's cheap to replace these things? Your aunt has been nagging me since I bought this second-hand boat. If I ask her for money to replace these things again, she will scold me to death. If you don't have enough money, ask my dad. He has money now. I've already borrowed it. I told your aunt that the purchase of this boat was only a few $100,000, but it was actually $240,000. I was afraid of what she would say, so I asked your dad for $100,000. Who knew something went wrong? Don't tell your aunt, or she will fight me to death." Lucashan said seriously. "I know. But if it doesn't work, it's better to change it early, so that it won't break down and stop in the sea. If you don't have money, ask my dad for it. He's a rich man now." Cai Hongming had nothing to say about this uncle. Is he still a man, if he's so afraid of his wife? He's just like his dad, a coward who's afraid of his wife. In the future, when he gets married, if he's not happy, he'll teach her a lesson and let her know what it means to be a husband and a wife. He hasn't married yet, so he's the type who doesn't mind saying sarcastic things. When he gets married, he'll know what's high and low. I know my limits, don't worry. After Lucashan finished speaking, he started the yacht and headed for the island he bought. The island Lukashin bought was about 2 miles away from Zenwei village. It was covered with reefs, with some weeds and shrubs growing wildly, and some big trees, but not many. After he bought the island, he built a house on the island with cement forest, and also built a plank road for boats. When approaching the island, Cai Hongming stood on the boat and looked forward. He found that the beach of the island was very clean and the water was very blue. Seagulls were flying around, and several egrets could be seen perching in the weeds on the island, flapping their wings and soaring into the sky from time to time. When they arrived at the place, Lukashin parked the boat and took Cai Hongming to the island. Cai Hongming walked around the island and felt good. At least there were a lot of shells on the island. He turned around and saw 7 or 8 big ones. While he was looking around, Lukashin took out the fishing rod, bait, folding chair, net bag and other things from the house on the island, and then found a good place to fish. He patiently sat by the sea and started fishing. This place is located at the mouth of the sea, with rich fish resources, especially big fish. After Cai Hongming walked around, he also took a fishing rod to fish. I don't know if it was bad luck. After fishing for a while, he didn't catch a single fish, while his uncle had already caught several, one of which was a large sea bass weighing nearly 5 kilograms. This made him feel very unhappy, so he simply stuck his fishing rod into the shore, took off his clothes, and went into the sea to play. He grew up by the sea, and was very good at swimming. In this water area, that was only 10 meters deep at most, he didn't have to worry about anything happening. As soon as he got into the water, the platinum dragon seal hanging on his body suddenly burst into a ray of light, and then, clear streams that were invisible to the naked eye kept pouring into the platinum dragon seal. More and more clear streams gradually formed whirlpools in front of him. The whirlpools drove the seawater, and the waves surged, constantly washing over Cai Hongming. Cai Hongming felt something was wrong, so he swam to the shore. When he raised his head out of the water and stepped on the soft sand, he found that the sea was very calm. He couldn't help but look down at his chest. He seemed to have seen the platinum dragon seal glowing just now. He looked at it, but didn't find anything. He just felt that the platinum dragon seal seemed to have become more moist, like a peach, fresh and tender. He didn't know what was going on. After thinking for a long time, he couldn't figure it out. He went back into the water. This time, he felt it. He felt as if there was an inexplicable airflow coming towards the platinum dragon seal, which was constantly absorbed by the platinum dragon seal. After the platinum dragon seal absorbed these airflows, it felt different, but he didn't know exactly how it was different. For a moment, he was confused. But when he went into the water again, the surging waves were gone, so he continued to swim in the water. Suddenly, he saw a big turtle swimming in the distance, and he swam over quickly, wanting to catch it to play. Who knew that the turtle was very cunning? It moved the water waves lightly and suddenly swam under him. When it was under him, it suddenly stretched out its head to bite him. Wow. The turtle bit his little ding-ding. Cai Hongming was almost scared to death. He moved and quickly hid to the side. Fortunately, he dodged quickly and escaped. Otherwise, his happy life in the next life would be gone. Seeing the turtle, he was very unhappy and swam towards it. This guy was also stupid and didn't swim faster, so he was caught by Cai Hongming. Uncle, look what I caught. Cai Hongming came out of the water, put the turtle on his head, and shouted to Lukashin who was fishing. But suddenly he felt hot on his head. When he looked up, he saw a stream of water gushing out from the turtle's tail, pouring on his head and face. A smell of urine instantly came into his nose. Cai Hongming was almost mad to death. He just wanted to catch it to play, but now he must eat this guy. Damn it, it peed on my head. Is he still a human if he doesn't eat it? Lukashin saw that he caught a turtle and said, that thing is useless. Throw it away. This guy peed all over me. How can I throw it away? Catch it and stew it in soup at night. Cai Hongming said angrily. This thing doesn't taste very good. Forget it. It's up to you. But don't let anyone see it. This thing is a national protected animal. I know. Cai Hongming asked Lukashin to take a few photos for him. Then he caught the turtle and went to the room to find a rope to tie it up, and then went back into the sea. How could I not wash myself after being peed on by the turtle? The seawater was very blue, and the fish were swimming around, colorful and very beautiful. Suddenly, Cai Hongming saw several big red crabs crawling among the water plants in the water, and he quickly swam over to catch them. "Uncle, look what I caught." Cai Hongming held up the big red crab in his hand and shouted proudly, "Wow, you actually caught such a big red crab. Come on, put them all in the net, and take them back to your grandpa and second uncle, to taste in the evening. Are there any more below? If there are, there is a net bag over there, you can grab them, so you don't have to run around." Okay. Cai Hongming put the big red crabs away, and went into the water with the net bag. He found that there were a lot of fish, shrimps, and crabs here, much more than in the sea near his uncle's village. There were a lot of red crabs in the sea, and he looked carefully, picking the big ones to catch. In a short while, he caught 5, all of which were very big. He came out of the sea to take a breath, and then went back into the sea. Suddenly, he saw a big guy in the distance, and swam over quickly. Chapter 17. A large wave of fish is coming. In the light blue sea, fish of various colors shuttled between the water plants and rocks. Red, green, yellow, black, and white. 5 colors, colorful and dazzling. Cai Hongming swam towards the big guy he saw, and after a while, he came to a coral reef, on which lay a big blue lobster. The guy wanted to run away when he saw the movement, but was caught by Cai Hongming. The lobster was very big, at least several kilograms. Now, there will be food for dinner. He searched around again, caught a few big red crabs, fished for some scallops, and then swam to the shore. At this moment, he suddenly found a large wave of fish swimming in the distance, and hurriedly went ashore. "Uncle, there is a large wave of fish coming. It seems to be sea bass." "Really?" When Lucashan heard it, he pulled up the fish hook without saying anything, pulled off the bait, and replaced it with live shrimp. Just after putting it down, the fish hook moved, and then sank to the surface of the water. He quickly picked it up, and saw a perch weighing about 2 kilograms hanging on the hook. When he saw it, he was so excited that he ran to the house, grabbed a few fishing rods, and picked up some live shrimps from the fish pond. These were specially raised for fishing. This place is in a place where saltwater and freshwater exchange and hedge, and there are a lot of perch, so he always prepares these things. Cai Hongming also picked up the fishing rod stuck on the shore, and replaced it with live shrimps to fish. This time, the speed of catching fish was much more fierce than the previous time, when he hung it for a long time without catching any fish. It can be said that fish were caught as soon as the fish hook was put down, and fish were caught as soon as it was put down. When the school of fish passed by, he and Lucashan actually caught a lot of perch, each weighing more than 1 kilogram, at least 30 or 40. Lucashan was a little excited. He had bought the island for so long, but he had never caught so many fish here. Cai Hongming looked at the fish on the beach and said worriedly, "Uncle, what should we do with so many fish?" "Sell the live ones, and take the dead ones back to eat. Now the price of wild live perch is high, and the dead ones are worthless." After that, he called the buyers, mainly the big hotels on Ludao. Nansao is an agricultural city with limited consumption level. Ludao is a special zone with stupid people and a lot of money, and there are many people who buy this stuff. After the call, Lucashan went to the house to take out a big box, put all the live perch in it, and then he and Cai Hongming carried it to the boat to fill it with seawater, and took an oxygenator to put it in it for oxygenation. He bought the boat and the island just to earn some spare money by fishing for people, so all these equipment were prepared. With such a harvest, they stopped fishing, packed up the remaining things, and drove back on the yacht. Cai Hongming put the caught red crabs and lobsters in another box, intending to keep them for dinner. When he went back, he remembered the turtle tied in the house, and hurried to get it, but found that the rope tied to the turtle was empty. A closer look showed that it was bitten off. It seems that the guy bit off the rope and ran away when no one was around. He is really smarter than a thief. I should have closed the door earlier. Cai Hongming regretted it, but he could do nothing, since the turtle had already run away. In the evening, he personally made a seafood feast with the red crabs and lobsters he caught, and called his good friend Cai Zengson and his sister-in-law's family to eat. This time, the red crabs were not steamed with vermicelli or soaked in beer, but cut into pieces and fried with egg and flour to make spicy crabs. The taste was so good. As for the 5-pound lobster, he made 3 ways to cook it. Cook porridge with the shrimp shell, make half of the shrimp meat into sashimi, and make half into shrimp balls fried in oil. Each one has a different taste, and it makes people drool. The sea base is delicious when steamed. After steaming, just put shredded red pepper and green onion on it, and drizzle with heated Maggi soy sauce and peanut oil. It will be extremely delicious. On the table, there are all kinds of seafood, each with different tastes, which makes people's appetites open. I don't know what kind of shit luck his second uncle's son Cai Hongming has. He came back today and caught this seafood feast. His mouth is full of fish oil. Brother, when are you going fishing? Call me. Seeing Cai Hongming catch so many fish, Cai Hongming was envious. No problem, but it depends on whether my uncle has time. Fishing is not simple. I have a few friends who are going to the island in a few days, and you can go together. But, Hongming, aren't you at work? Lucashan asked. The development zone is so close, I can take a leave. Cai Hongming replied while eating. Well, it's settled. Lucashan said, and took out a wad of money from his pocket, and handed it to Cai Hongming. This is the money from selling perch today, you take it. Why are you giving me money? Cai Hongming asked in confusion. Looking at the wad of money, it was at least 3 or 4,000 yuan. Brothers should settle accounts clearly. We caught those perch together, so of course I have to give you half of the money. Who are you brothers with? Cai Hongming said aside. I'm just making a metaphor. Lucashan said embarrassedly. No, what do I need money for? Cai Hongming shook his head and said. You take it. He has no place to spend the money, otherwise he wouldn't buy a broken boat to mess around with. Cai Hongming dug a look at Lucashan and stuffed a handful of money into Cai Hongming's hand. Lucashan hurriedly buried his head in his food. Cai Hongming had no choice but to put the money away. Cai Hongming's eyes sparkled. That was as much as his monthly salary. Going fishing is fun, rewarding, and there is money to share. Why has he never encountered such a good thing? His eyes rolled around, thinking that he must go fishing with his brother next time. After dinner, Cai Hongming took a towel and pants, planning to go to the hot spring with Cai Zengson. While walking on the road, he was spotted by the sharp-eyed Cai Hongming, who immediately chased after him. Brother, where are you going? Just taking a walk, Cai Hongming said casually. Cai Hongming looked at him with contempt. He was just walking around with a flashlight. Is it stupid to lie to him? He finally understood this elder brother. He could only listen to what he said, but not believe it completely. He remembered that, when he was a child, he went to the mountains with him to pick persimmons. After climbing a mountain, he asked him if he had arrived. He said he was almost there. As a result, he climbed 2 more mountains and didn't see a single persimmon. Another time, when they were in elementary school, they watched the TV series The Return of the Condor Heroes, where they were eating centipedes. They were curious, so they imitated what was shown on TV, and stole a big rooster, and put it in the mountains. As a result, they really caught a few fat centipedes. His brother followed what was shown on TV, and combined it with what was written in the book. He washed the captured centipedes to remove the poison, peeled them, and fried them in oil. After they were done, they tasted really fragrant and looked delicious. However, thinking of the centipedes, they felt hairy in their hearts, and no one dared to eat them. In the end, his brother tricked the village fool to come, and said he would treat him to food, and then stuff the fried centipedes into his mouth. Although the fool is called a fool, he is not a complete fool. Sometimes he is quite smart. When he saw his brother giving him food, he felt that there was something wrong, and did not eat it. So, his brother demonstrated by eating one, and the fool ate it after watching. In fact, his brother did not eat it at all, but just held it in his mouth. He ate it after seeing that the fool ate it, and it was fine. So, it is better to listen to this big brother with your heart. Chapter 18, Crane Strength, Letter, Part 1. Cai Hongming was sticking to him like a dogskin plaster, and he couldn't be driven away. Cai Hongming had no choice but to let him come with him. After climbing up the basalt pillars and moving the hole to reveal the hot spring inside, Cai Hongming was stunned. He had never thought that there was such a natural hot spring in this pile of rocks. He couldn't help but despise Cai Hongming and Cai Zengson even more. They kept such a good thing a secret. If he hadn't come with him today, He probably would never have known about this place. Taking off clothes and soaking in the warm hot spring, the pores of the whole body stretched, making people feel ecstatic. Brother, why didn't you tell me about this place earlier? Otherwise you could come here to take a bath every day. Cai Hongming complained. With your big mouth, I want to tell you, and I won't let the whole village know. Remember not to tell anyone, understand? Cai Hongming warned. Don't worry, I'm the most tight-lipped. Cai Hongming stretched out his hand and made a zipper gesture on his mouth, indicating absolute confidentiality. Cai Hongming didn't dare to believe this. This guy was born to be a snitch. He would tell his family everything as soon as he turned around. He didn't keep it secret. While taking a bath, he picked up his phone and sent the picture of him catching a turtle on the island to his Facebook. His Facebook originally had only 2 or 3 kittens, but because of the world sweet potato incident, the number of fans soared rapidly, from a few to 35,178. Although the number of fans increased, he didn't manage it much. He just occasionally posted a photo and said something to repay those who followed him. Maybe they didn't need him to repay them. They just followed him to join in the fun, see what news there was, and relieve their boredom. In this dazzling world today, no one can't live without someone else. After sending the photo, Cai Hongming asked Cai Zengson, Zion, how is the land purchase going? My third uncle is already doing it. We have to wait a few more days. Cai Zengson smeared volcanic mud all over his body and lay beside to absorb the possible microorganisms and beneficial bacteria. He looked like a zombie. You can find someone to design the drawings and make a 3D rendering first, so you don't have to wait later. I have asked a friend to help find a designer, and it may take some time. Cai Hongming nodded. It's good to have a plan, otherwise it will be bad to find that there is nothing when the work is about to start, and it will be a mess. Cai Hongming didn't understand a word they said. What about buying land and design? All kinds of messes, but these had nothing to do with him. After thinking for a while, he said to Cai Hongming, brother, after the Chinese New Year, can I go there with you to play? Of course, if you go there, I will take you to ride camels and yaks, race cars in the desert, and dig cordyceps. Cai Hongming casually described a beautiful desert scene for him, and Cai Hongming was very happy to hear it. Really, that's great. But, aren't you working? Cai Hongming said again. What kind of job is this? I work, eat, and sleep every day. I'm just like a fool. I'm so tired. I plan to take a break for a while. Hongming, I think you don't need to go to work at all. Go home and learn bone setting and massage from your dad. You won't have to worry about anything after you learn it. Cai Zengson said beside him. I can't learn that. Cai Hongming said distressedly. He has been inattentive since he was a child. He forgets everything he sees and has no patience. How can he learn that? You should study hard. After all, your second uncle's share of the family business will eventually be passed on to you. Cai Hongming also advised beside him. Don't we still have you, brother? I guess it will be difficult for me to come back here. I bought a piece of land there this year and plan to run it well, so the family here depends on you. Cai Hongming fell silent after hearing this, feeling that the burden on his shoulders was very heavy. Young people all have their own ideas. Cai Hongming and Cai Zengson said a few words and stopped persuading them. The opinions given by others on these things can only be used as references and guidance. In the end, it is still oneself who should pay attention. However, Cai Hongming was speaking from his heart. He bought 1,000 acres of desert and would definitely run it well there. It would be difficult for him to come back in the future. Then someone had to inherit the Jiangtang sign passed down by his ancestors. Now, who else could inherit the family except him, a male? Jiangtang is the name of the clan of their Cai family. At that time, when their ancestors were doing bone correction and massage, they did not think of setting up a sign. They just treated people in the house. However, the 3 big characters Jiangtang were hung on the plaque of the old house. When people saw it, they took it as a name. Over time, it became their sign. This sign was very famous. Cai Hongming's father did not dare to use it and could not use it because he was not old enough and not qualified enough. Therefore, the clinic opened in Ginnan was only called Cai's Bone Correction and Massage Clinic. because his grandfather was in charge here. When his second uncle moved the clinic to the new house, he still used this name. After taking a bath and returning home, Cai Hongming entered the paradise in the jade tripod. The crystal scorpion was brought back by him. When he saw him come in, he was so happy that he wagged his tail and greeted him. It was so quiet in there, not even a living thing, which made it bored. Cai Hongming put it on his shoulder and looked around. The small green Gynoderma lucidum beside the boulder had grown a little bigger, about 10 centimeters. The jasper Gynoderma lucidum covering the small green Gynoderma lucidum seemed to have no change, but it was still green and transparent. But for some reason, a thumb-sized meatball grew on the cover. I don't know what it is going to grow. After taking a look, he walked towards the gourd vine. The flowers on the gourd vine had withered. He found that none of the flowers had borne fruit and all fell to the ground. What happened? Cai Hongming wondered if it was because of the lack of pollination. If so, artificial pollination might be needed in the future. After a turn, he walked out of the paradise in the jade tripod, sat cross-legged on the bed, drank a mouthful of jade toad liquid diluted with water, and practiced the fetal breathing sutra. After refining Qi and Anshan, he changed the ratio of diluting jade toad liquid to water to 10:1 according to the record on the golden silk. In the future, as his practice progresses, he will no longer need to dilute the jade toad liquid with water and can drink it directly. There was no day of practice, and in the blink of an eye it was already dawn. Cai Hongming got up, brushed his teeth, and washed his face, and then went to the backyard to practice boxing. After practicing, he would practice boxing every morning to vent. Otherwise, the abundant energy in his body made him feel like he was about to explode at any time, and he didn't know if it was because he was still a virgin. Moreover, Ding Ding was uncomfortable with a hard penis when he woke up in the morning. That feeling, to be honest, was terrible. Chapter 19. Crane Strength. Letter. Part 2. White crane flaps its wings. White crane stretches its neck. White crane cuts its waist. Mantis shrimp bombs. Mandarin duck legs. Golden knees. Cai Hongming practices boxing in the backyard. His body is like a flying crane, flapping its wings and stretching its neck, and his moves are as fast as an arrow from a bow, as slow as a flowing cloud, flexible and skillful. As he practices, he forgets himself, and only his hands and feet practice boxing according to instinct. Suddenly, he remembered the white crane fu at the beginning of the Fi boxing manual at home. The poem says, "The crane calls in Jiu-Gao, and its voice is heard in the sky." The Book of Changes says, "The crane calls in the shade, and its children sing along with it." The crane is a creature with a chaste appearance and leisure, and a clear and elegant voice. It turns over in the pond and rises above the clouds. It has a long top and a black tail, and its legs are bent and its neck is curved. Its white feathers are as white as the spring snow in Yunmeng. Its wings are as round as the autumn moon in Dangting. Although Jishuai's dragon-like appearance and phoenix-like figure are not enough to describe his manners, Wang Yefu's jade forest and jade trees are not enough to compare with his purity. The red clouds soaring into the sky, and the green cliffs of Penhu. The body is in the dark, and the heart is in the vastness. It is not the tassel of dust nets, and it is not the drop of empty strings. It is like pecking green moss, and stepping on white stones, washing in clear water, and splashing in clear streams. It gallops through the nets of tuna and floats in the water of algae and water chestnuts. It surprises the girl who picks lotus and stops the boat of orchids that don't wear pendants. It soars and flips, and lingers leisurely. It crosses the thin shadow of the cold pond and rides on the high carriage of Wei. It only makes its power in Huobiao and visits Hedging and Gushan. It is ashamed of Yangon, and does not dance, and is angry at the Qin invaders for making a long noise. Since the posture of soaring into the sky is complete, it is not for the ears and eyes to play with. It is like holding the wind in the vast ocean, and waving the free hand brush in the great clear sky. Grab the spiritual seal of Dunkyu, hold the purple stem of Yeopu. Soak in the mysterious roots to live long, absorb the vitality to live a long life. Not the color of the phoenix, lack the brocade of the swan. Without the warning of the skycock at dawn, and the offering of wine and a yeonju. Understand the wonderful existence of nature, only the actions and hiding of creation. Suddenly, he realized something, and the rigid boxing in his hands gradually became elegant and graceful, and there was no longer the rigid and old-fashioned taste before. For people who practice boxing, the most important thing is never diligence, or having a good master, but understanding. Understanding determines the foundation of advancement, and there is also a possibility of becoming a master. Many people will hardly have this opportunity in their entire lives. But Cai Hongming was lucky enough to understand the elegant way of Fi, and the advancement of boxing is just around the corner. Cai Lang came to the backyard at some point, looked at the boxing practiced by his grandson, and smiled with satisfaction while touching his beard. Suddenly, Cai Hongming let out a crane cry, and his hands made a crane beak and pecked quickly. The air seemed to be torn apart, bringing with it a whistling sound. Cai Lang exclaimed in surprise. His mind was slightly moved, and he didn't know what he was thinking. "Grandpa, you got up too." Cai Hongming saw him next to him after practicing boxing, so he walked over. "Well, have you practiced the crane force?" Cai Lang looked at Cai Hongming, and somehow his expression was a little nervous. "Crane force, seems to be it." Cai Hongming scratched his head. He didn't know if the key in his body was crane force. "Stupid." Cai Lang shouted angrily. How could someone not know what he practiced? He shouldn't have let him go to the northwest in the first place. Look at what he has become now, a complete fool. Cai Lang put his hand on his danchan angrily to feel it, then took him into the inner room, and then took out a piece of iron plate from his room, and asked him to peck on it with a crane beak. Cai Hongming did as he was told. The iron plate was slightly dented. Cai Lang looked at it and nodded. It seemed that this grandson had really practiced the crane power, but he was just at the beginning of the crane power, not very advanced. He put the iron plate away again, and then called Cai Hongming into the room, took out a few old books from the hidden corner beside the bed, and handed them to Cai Hongming. "I was going to take these into the coffin, but I didn't expect you to practice the crane power. It seems to be God's will. From now on, these will be handed over to you. Remember, it is not allowed to be passed on to those who have not reached the crane power." "Got it, Grandpa." Cai Hongming flipped through the book that his grandfather gave him, and saw some ointment prescriptions and boxing techniques that he had never seen before, as well as some vicious techniques of breaking bones, removing bones, tapping tendons, and cutting pulses. If the tendon tapping and cutting pulses that his grandfather taught him before belonged to the pure and gentle gentleman, then everything recorded in the book handed to him now belonged to the category of vicious women with hearts as vicious as snakes and scorpions. "Grandpa, these are." Cai Hongming only flipped through a few articles and felt a little dry in the mouth. He had never heard of the boxing ointment recipes described in them, let alone the terrifying techniques of breaking bones, removing bones, tapping tendons, and cutting pulses, which were all moves that could kill people. These are all our ancestors' personal experiences, recorded bit by bit and passed down. The moves are a bit vicious, but it doesn't matter if we use them for self-defense. You must remember, never use these things to harm others. Of course, if others want to harm us, we are not soft eggs. Cai Lang said seriously. "I understand, Grandpa, but if you give me these, what about my second uncle? Do you think these things can be given away casually?" Cai Lang blew his beard and glared at his grandson and said, "Impossible. If you haven't practiced the crane power, no one can see it. Your second uncle will have no hope in this life." "Oh." Cai Lang looked at his grandson and said, "Although you have practiced the crane power now, your boxing skills are still not good enough. You can only practice the flying crane fist, but not the bones. I think you still need to practice hard. When I was practicing martial arts, your grandfather practiced with a stick. He was not allowed to eat if he didn't practice well. When practicing the crane palm, he would directly use stones to poke until all the stones were pierced into stone powder. His palms were covered with calluses like iron hands. Only then was it considered that the crane palm was practiced. Now you young people can't bear that hardship, but there is no need to endure that hardship. Look at me now, I'm old, my bones are brittle, and I have given back everything I practiced before. I feel ashamed of my ancestors." Cai Lang said with emotion, gesturing at his wrinkled palms. However, He still felt a little unwilling to admit that he was old, so he took Cai Hongming to the open space in the backyard and practiced crane fist in front of him. The boxing was like thunder and lightning, and there was no sign of old age. Cai Hongming was so ashamed that he wanted to hide underground. Compared with his grandfather's boxing, his boxing was not presentable at all. It seemed that he had to practice flying crane fist seriously in the future. After breakfast, Cai Hongming took out a hoe and a bucket from home, bought a lighter from the village store, and walked to the back of the village. Cai Hongming saw it, and hurriedly chased after him. Following his brother, he knew that having good food to eat was something he had known since he was a child. Although there were vast mountains behind Kajia village, there were also villagers who reclaimed wasteland and planted crops here. Cai Hongming was attracted by the field mice and these crops. As for the field mice in the fields in front of the village, he had already despised them, because he felt that the field mice would run to the village to eat garbage, which would be disgusting, unlike the mice in the mountains, which eat fruits, rice and other things, and are very clean. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 20 Vol. There are many kinds of mice. Those in the sky are called sky mice. Those that can fly are called flying mice. Those that can swim are called water mice. Those in the sea are called sea mice. Beavers, called sea mice in southern Fujian. Those who miss home are called house mice. Those who manage warehouses are called hamsters. Those who burrow into the ground are called ground mice. Those who watch the fields are called field mice. Those who climb trees are called tree mice. Those in the mountains are called mountain mice. Those who like money are called money mice. And those who eat rice are called Mickey mice. In Kajia village, the most common are house mice, mountain mice, and field mice. Among them, mountain mice are the largest, field mice are the fattest, and house mice are the dirtiest. Earlier, someone in Kajia village caught a mountain mouse in the mountains. It was half a meter long, weighed 5 or 6 pounds, and the meat was extremely fine. The man got along well with Cai Hongming's uncle, so he cut some meat and gave it to him. Cai Hongming was lucky enough to get some to eat. Until now, he can't forget the taste. It was so delicious. At that time, no MSG was added to cooking. The lush green mountains are particularly enchanting. At the foot of the mountain, a stream came slowly from a distance, passed through several small paddy fields in the mountains, and then flowed out. Cai Hongming brought Hongsheng to the paddy fields opened by the villagers, and carefully looked for mouse holes on the ridges of the paddy fields. He was tired of eating seafood every day these 2 days, so he planned to change his taste. After a while, he found a vole hole on the ridge. He looked at the hole, and noticed that there were traces of voles passing by recently, so he started to dig. A rabbit has 3 holes, and a cunning vole will also dig several holes in its nest. Cai Hongming found all the holes and blocked them, leaving only the front and back 2, and then asked Hongsheng to guard the back end, and he found some dry straw, and put it at the hole and lit a fire. Suddenly, he found that he had forgotten to bring the fan with him, and now he had no tool to fan the smoke into the vole hole. He had no choice but to use a bucket as a fan to send the thick smoke from the burning dry straw into the hole. There are 4 main ways to catch voles. First, water the holes. This is very simple. Just find all the holes dug by voles, leaving only one. Then plug up all the remaining holes, and then water the holes vigorously. If there is a vole in it, it can't stand it, and will run out by itself. However, there is a disadvantage. That is, sometimes the vole doesn't run out after watering for a long time, because the water flows to other places, and it's a waste of half a day's work. Second, smoke. After finding the holes dug by voles, leave 2 in front and back, then light dry straw, and fan the thick smoke into the hole. The voles can't stand it, and will run out from the other end. The effect is very good. Third, also find all the holes dug by voles, leave 2, then catch a non-venomous snake, and put it in. The voles in the hole will be scared to run out when they see the snake. But this method may not work sometimes, because some lazy snakes don't listen to you at all. You ask them to drill into the hole, but they just won't go in, and they crawl out desperately. Sometimes they are not afraid of the voles when they go in, but they become good friends with them, which makes you angry. The fourth method is to ask for scolding, that is, to dig directly on the ridge of the field with a hoe. It is not a big deal to be scolded by the owner of the field. Some nosy people will go home to complain to the adults, and then there will be a meal of fried shrimps with bamboo sticks. The shrimps are pink and tender, and also refer to children. Fried shrimps with bamboo sticks are self-evident, and the meaning is similar to fried meat with bamboo slices. Of course, when Cai Hongming returns home, he often runs away when he sees that the situation is not right, so he has never been scolded. I don't know about others. The thick smoke from the burning straw was constantly fanned into the cave by Cai Hongming with a bucket. The thick smoke went into the cave and came out from other places. The field mouse inside couldn't stand the smoke and finally ran out from inside, but it didn't run to Hongsheng's side, but rushed out from Cai Hongming's cave. Cai Hongming saw it and picked up the bucket to chase it. Beat, beat, beat. In the end, the field mouse that ran out died under his bucket. Fortunately, the bucket was made of plastic rice, which was very flexible. If it had been replaced with the hard plastic bucket, it would have been dead. A vole also ran out from Cai Hongsheng, who was guarding the cave entrance at the back. He hurriedly stepped on it with his foot, but the vole jumped left and right and ran very fast. He couldn't step on it. He wanted to catch it with his hands, but he was afraid of being bitten by the vole. In the end, he could only watch the vole run away quickly. Cai Hongming killed the vole and turned around to see it. He immediately glared and shouted, "Hongsheng, are you here to make soy sauce?" "No, brother, it runs too fast. I can't step on it." Cai Hongsheng said innocently. "If you can't step on it, can't you catch it with your hands? I've never seen you so stupid. You didn't bring anything when you came. Go back and get a stick and a bag." After hearing this, Cai Hongsheng ran away to avoid being scolded by his brother. At this time, Cai Zengson came over. Cai Hongming looked at him and asked in surprise, "How do you know I'm here?" "I went to your house, and Grandpa said you came out with a hoe. Then I saw smoke coming out from this side, so I thought you were here to catch voles again, so I came to see." "What was the result?" "I caught a small one, and the big one was let go by Hongsheng." Cai Hongsheng left and came back quickly, and in an instant he brought back a bag and a stick from home. Cai Hongming smacked his lips and didn't know what to say when he saw it. Wow, he used a baseball to catch voles. Did he want to hit the voles as if they were a ball? He and Cai Zengson looked at each other and were speechless for a moment. He was used to it. This kid always followed around and ate and drank for free. As for letting him work, it's not impossible, but you have to be careful that he doesn't burn down the house or the trees in the mountains. The voles Cai Hongming caught were very small, weighing only a few taels, but it was better than nothing. So he put the dead voles into a bucket and started looking for a vole nest again. In the past, when there was no food in the years of disaster, people would go to the fields to catch voles. Because vole holes often hide a lot of food, the least is more than 1 kilogram. Now that life is better, farmers don't care about the food of these voles. The living standards of voles have improved, and the speed of reproducing offspring has increased, so there are many voles in the field now. Even if Cai Hongming catches them every year, there are still voles every year. Find the vole hole and block the hole. Cai Hongming asked Cai Hongsheng to tie the bag he brought to the hole left at the back. Now there is no need to catch them, just wait for the vole to run out and get into the bag, because it can't stand the smoke. After preparation, Cai Hongming went to find straw and lit it, sending smoke into the hole. Cai Hongsheng stood next to the bag, holding a baseball and aiming, eager to try. If he saw a vole, he would definitely give it a fatal blow. Cai Zengson, who was standing next to him, saw it and hurried to Cai Hongming's side. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to hold the baseball steadily or accidentally hit himself on the head, and then he would have no place to cry. Chapter 21, Old Hen Stewed Snake. Cai Hongming kept blowing the smoke from the burning straw into the vole hole. After a while, wisps of smoke came out of the cracked dry soil on the ridge. Cai Zengson, who was standing on the side, saw this and quickly dug some soil from the field to cover the place where the smoke was leaking. He and Cai Hongming were experts in catching voles and were very skilled in dealing with these accidents. When the smoke stopped coming out of the ridge, the smoke in the vole hole was blown into the hole at the back by the fan, blown in by Cai Hongming. In just a moment, a little smoke came out of the hole at the back. As time went on, the smoke became thicker. The vole inside couldn't stand it anymore and crawled out of the hole, just in time to crawl into the bag covering the hole. Cai Hongming saw the movement and picked up a baseball bat to hit it. After hitting it a few times and seeing that the bag was not moving, he picked up the bag and opened it. There was a snake in the bag, which seemed to be fainted by the smoke, but woke up again under his rough action. Seeing him open the bag, the snake was sticking out its tongue to greet him in a friendly way. Cai Hongming was so scared that he screamed and threw the bag away. The snake escaped and swam quickly to the side. The snake was a non-venomous grass snake, extremely fat, at least as long as a pole, longer than a shoulder pole, about 2 meters, also used for carrying things, and no one knew how it ran into the vole hole. When Cai Hongming saw the fat grass snake running out of the bag, he immediately picked up the hoe next to him and chased after it. Cai Hongming had nothing in his hands, so he saw the baseball bat thrown by Cai Hongming next to him, picked it up, and ran towards the grass snake at a high speed. Although the grass snake was fast, it was not as fast as Cai Hongming and Cai Hongming, whose eyes sparkled when they saw the fat grass snake. Cai Hongming caught up first, picked up the hoe and hit the snake's head, but missed it, so he hit it again. Later, Cai Hongming caught up and raised the baseball bat to hit the snake. The snake was hit and rolled over in pain. Cai Hongming took the hoe and hit the snake's head, flattening it and killing it instantly. He deliberately didn't hit the body, because after hitting the body, there would be bruises on the snake meat after peeling off the skin, and it would taste terrible. But his friend had already hit him, so he couldn't say anything. Cai Hongming picked up the dead snake and weighed it. It weighed at least 5 or 6 pounds. I haven't eaten snake meat for a long time. It's just the right time to improve my diet tonight, Cai Hongming said as he looked at the fat snake. I haven't eaten it for a long time either. I'll go back and catch an old hen to make soup, Cai Hongming said with a smile. Brother, there is a hen at home. It clucks all day, but doesn't lay eggs. My mother has wanted to kill it for a long time. Today is a good day. Cai Hongming also came over and said. Cai Hongming looked at him and slapped him. You are really good at eating, but you run away faster than anyone else when you see a snake. Isn't it because I'm afraid it will bite me? Cai Hongming said in a slender voice. It's not poisonous, so why should I be afraid? Cai Hongming had nothing to say about this younger brother. No one could beat him when it came to eating, and nothing he could do was reliable. When he was pregnant in his mother's belly for 10 months and came out after the village festival, his mother had already predicted that he must be a glutton, otherwise he wouldn't have eaten everything before coming out. Now think about it, his mother is simply the emperor of prediction. After teaching Cai Hongming a lesson, Cai Hongming asked him to go home to get a knife and a basin for things, while he and Cai Hongming continued to look for voles in the fields. By noon, they had harvested more than a dozen voles. So many voles were enough for a meal, so Cai Hongming stopped looking for them and killed the voles and snakes he caught with Cai Hongming by the ditch, peeling the skin and taking the meat. Some people like to eat snake skin and field mouse skin, which feel chewy, but this habit is not advisable. After all, these things grow in the mountains and go in and out of dangerous, gloomy, and strange places. It is inevitable that they will be stained with dirt and grow insects, so it is better to peel them. In the end, the two peeled a pot of white meat and returned home. They also stewed the old hen that Cai Hongming's mother had raised for nearly 3 years to stew the grass snake. The old hen stewed with snake has a name called dragon and phoenix pairing. There are 2 ways to cook this dish, and the taste and appearance are different. The first one is very simple. Just put the snake, old hen, and shredded ginger into a clay pot and stew it. After stewing, just adjust the seasoning. There is no need to add anything, because the old hen and snake are very nutritious. The second one is a bit more complicated. First, Cut the snake meat into sections and marinate it with rice wine and ginger slices. Then heat the pan. Add oil and ginger. Fry the ginger to release the ginger oil. Then add the old hen and snake meat and stir fry until dry. Then add water and finally add some ginseng slices and cover the lid to stew. The old hen and snake soup cooked in this way is yellow with white and white with yellow. It has the richness of chicken soup and the deliciousness of snake soup. It can be said that the bear has the best of both worlds. Oh, wrong. It should be the bear has the best of both worlds. Cai Hongming used the second method because this method can extract all the nutrients from the old hen and snake. After dealing with the snake and the old hen, Cai Hongming started with the field mouse meat in the basin. He sliced half of the mouse meat, then added scallion segments, mushroom slices, red dates, ginger slices, salt soy sauce, etc. Mixed well, thickened with wet powder, and steamed in a steamer. This steamed field mouse is the most original flavor, fragrant and tender, and very delicious. Next, he heated the pan, added oil and sugar, boiled the syrup, put the mouse meat in and stir fried it, then added soy sauce and other spices to stew together. When it was halfway cooked, he put the cooked chestnut meat in and continued to cook. When only a little thick soup was left at the end of cooking, the braised field mouse meat was a success. The braised field mouse meat was bright in color and delicious in taste. It had the sweetness of the local chestnuts in Fujian province and the concentrated essence of the wild spirits of the field mouse itself, which was very rare. At noon, the old hen stewed snake soup and 2 dishes of field mouse meat immediately became the focus of everyone's pursuit. Cai Lang, who originally only had 1 bowl of rice, had an extra bowl of rice at noon. Cai Hongming, who had not eaten such delicious food for a long time, was even more full and fat. After eating, he was still not satisfied and picked up Cai Hongming to catch field mice. Cai Hongming would not listen to him and laughed directly. 2 days later, his uncle summoned him to go fishing. He took Hongming and called his good friend Zengson to go directly to the port where the yacht was parked. When he arrived on the yacht, he saw that there were already 7 or 8 people on it, most of whom were middle-aged men in their 40s and 50s, and 2 young girls were talking to his cousin Cai Hong next to him. When Lucashan saw them coming, he introduced them to the people on the boat and went to start the boat. Cai Hong, why are you here? Cai Hongming approached the girls and asked Cai Hong for no apparent reason. Why can't my yacht come? Cai Hong rolled her eyes at him unhappily. Among all her cousins, she disliked the one in front of her the most. When she was in school, his grades were not so good, and he often played tricks on her. One time, he even burned a mink scarf that her mother had just bought for her, which made her very angry. However, she called her second uncle to complain, and it was said that her second uncle gave him a severe beating. No one knew about this, and she just kept it in her heart, so Cai Hongming was still confused about who the informer was. Chapter 22 Pink Manta Ray. Cai Hongming approached Cai Hong and other girls, wanting to talk to them, but unfortunately no one paid attention to him. When he saw them, he told them about the fun things he did when he was a child, such as catching birds and eggs, and Cai Hongming fishing and catching voles. Although he was not good at studying, he was good at speaking. He could talk about ordinary things in an exaggerated way, which made the girls yearn for it. After hearing this, Cai Hong ran over and asked Cai Hongming, "Brother, why didn't you call me when you went to catch voles yesterday? Do you dare to catch them?" "Of course I dare," Cai Hong said with a slightly raised chest. "Then I will call you when I catch voles next time. You must." After getting Cai Hongming's repeated assurances, Cai Hong turned back to talk to the 2 girls. I don't know what she said. The 2 girls kept looking at Cai Hongming. When they arrived at the island, several middle-aged anglers found a place to sit down with great experience and then began to spread fish food, put on bait, and put down hooks to fish. They all paid Lucashan for coming to fish, at least 100 per person. If you want to buy something, the money needs to be calculated separately. If business is good, Lucashan will bring people here to fish, which is better than his seafood business. Unfortunately, this place is located in the triangle area of the estuary. If there is a little wind, the sea will be rough, so fishing can only be done from winter to early spring. As for the typhoon-prone season in summer and autumn, don't even think about it. After Lucashan sent some live shrimps to a few anglers, he also took a fishing rod to fish. Cai Hongming and several other girls walked around the island, talking and picking up shells while walking. Cai Hongming wanted to get closer, but unfortunately they ignored him. After walking around the island, he felt bored, so he took a fishing rod and fished next to Lucashan. After Cai Hongming took his friends to look around the island, he also took a fishing rod to fish. When he was walking around just now, he found a small mangrove forest on one side of the island. There were some red wolf-toothed gobies and red crabs living on the mangrove mudflats. He was thinking whether he should catch some and cook them later. Red wolf-toothed goby, commonly known as red brightfish, hemp skinhead, red nay, thin strip, red nine, red nose strip, nay fish, is red all over, with little meat, and looks quite bony. But if you cook it with soy sauce and garlic and celery, the taste is really delicious. It tastes a bit like eel cooked in soy sauce, but without so much meat, and it tastes very good. This thing can live in fresh water and seawater. It is rare in inland areas, so much so that some people in inland areas call it a monster when they see it, and it has been reported in newspapers several times. In fact, this thing is very common in coastal areas, but those people are surprised by it. Cai Hongming held up the fishing rod and sat on a folding chair ready to fish. Suddenly, he saw people around him and thought to himself, how could he catch any fish with so many people? So he raised the fishing rod and moved the folding chair away. He calculated well, but unfortunately all the fish under the water were attracted by the baits thrown by several anglers. He fished for a long time, but didn't catch a single fish, while several anglers and Lucashan and others had more or less gains. In particular, his younger brother Cai Hongming, who he always thought was lazy and useless, actually caught a large yellow bream weighing 3 or 4 pounds. His uncle didn't know if he had hit a nest of croakers, but he actually caught a lot of croakers, all of which were more than half a pound. Cai Hongming also had a good harvest, but he was the only one who had nothing. Cai Hongming looked at it and thought that maybe the bait was not good. So he ran to the other anglers to get some bait. But after changing a few types, he still couldn't catch any fish. Now he had an idea. He wanted to move the nest, but he had just moved here. Wouldn't he be looked down upon if he moved it again? This wouldn't work. After thinking about it, he felt that it was probably a problem with the bait. These baits were tempting over there, but they probably wouldn't work well here. He had to change the species. Suddenly, he remembered the green Ganoderma lucidum planted in the paradise of the cave in the jade tripod. Ganoderma lucidum has always been known as an elixir of immortality and is sought after by people. People can eat it, so fish should like it too. So, he took out a small green Ganoderma lucidum from the paradise of the cave in the jade tripod and hooked it on the fish hook to fish. Changing the bait really had a different effect. After a while, Cai Hongming noticed that the buoy on the water surface had moved, and it was a big movement. Suddenly, the buoy sank suddenly, and he quickly pulled up the fishing rod. Unexpectedly, the fishing rod was bent and did not catch the fish. Instead, he was dragged forward by the fish and fell into the water. He saw that it was not good and quickly climbed out of the water. However, he did not dare to pull the fishing rod hard for fear of breaking the fishing line and letting the big fish run away. He quickly loosened the fishing line, then walked left and right, slowly catching the fish. Seeing that he had caught a big fish, the people around him ran over to see, and Cai Hongming even took a scoop net to catch the fish. Cai Hongming rolled his eyes. How could he catch the fish that could pull him into the water with a scoop net that was as big as his butt? As the fish slid, it lost its strength and gradually stopped struggling. Cai Hongming asked Cai Hongming to hold the fishing rod, and he jumped into the water, trying to pick up the big fish that had fainted. When he got down, he found that what he caught was not a big fish at all, but a manta ray that was more than 2 meters long. Cai Hongming was a little disappointed when he saw the manta ray, but he still caught it. This manta ray is a little different from the ones you usually see. It is pink in color, and its cute eyes blink like a girl next door, making people reluctant to catch it. The pink manta ray was carried ashore by Cai Hongming. Seeing the crowd around it, it screamed in panic, "Hue woo," and looked pitiful. Seeing it, Cai Hongming didn't know how to deal with it. Manta rays are also called carpet rays and devilfish. They are ovoviviparous. A baby manta ray weighs 20 kilograms and is about 1 meter long when it is born. People who don't know this kind of fish think it is a big fish at first sight. In fact, it is just a newborn baby, and the manta ray in front of him, which is about 2 meters long, is at best just a child. It is said that the largest manta ray can grow to 9 meters, but the most common ones now are only 6 or 7 meters. Cai Hongming has eaten this kind of fish before, and it doesn't taste very good. If it is not handled well, it also has a urine smell, which makes it difficult to swallow. Hey, what is this? Cai Hong and the other 3 girls asked curiously when they saw the manta ray after a round. They had never seen such a thing. It's a manta ray, also called a devilfish, Cai Hongming said. Cai Hong nodded and continued to look at the manta ray. The pink manta ray saw someone looking at it and cried pitifully, Hoo woo over there. Cai Hong and other girls looked at the pink manta ray and felt that it was really cute. At this time, the pink manta ray still had a fish hook in its mouth. The pain of the fish hook hooked in its mouth made it twist and turn, causing the wound to bleed again. It looked very pitiful. Several girls saw it and felt sympathy and asked Cai Hongming to let it go. Cai Hongming had no use for this thing, so he let it go. When sending it into the water, seeing that it was so pitiful, he secretly took out a little water mixed jade toad liquid from the jade tripod's cave paradise and gave it to drink. After it drank it, he pushed it into the sea. As soon as the pink manta ray entered the water, it immediately swam around happily. Chapter 23 Bigger Balloon. After sending the pink manta ray into the water, Cai Hongming picked up the fishing rod and went fishing again. Who knew that the situation was the same as before? After fishing for a long time, there was no trace of fish, even when he took out the green Ganoderma. The elderly fish to kill time, while the young fish for the joy of harvest. If they can't catch even a hare, who would still want to fish? After fishing for a while, seeing that he didn't catch even a small fish, Cai Hongming was so angry that he threw away the fishing rod, took off his clothes, and went into the sea with the net bag. After spending so much effort and still not catching any fish, it would be better to go to the sea to fish. Last time he saw some purple sea urchins below and planned to catch some to eat. He went into the sea and swam far away. After a while, he came to a coral reef. The coral reef was full of seaweed, and many purple sea urchins that lived on seaweed were lying here. Cai Hongming looked at it and reached out to grab it. The purple sea urchins noticed the fluctuations in the water flow and immediately shrank up, trying to run away. Unfortunately, they couldn't run away and were dealt with one by Cai Hongming. But he didn't take much, he just picked some bigger ones to eat. The pink manta ray didn't swim far after being sent into the water by Cai Hongming. It stayed nearby. Seeing him continue to fish with the green Ganoderma, it knew it would be hooked, so it resisted the urge to bite. But it didn't leave, it just lay near the hook, and whenever a fish wanted to come over to eat the green Ganoderma, it would drive them away. This is why Cai Hongming couldn't catch any fish. When Cai Hongming went into the water, it swam far away. When he went to pick up sea urchins, it swam back and followed him secretly. It was seen lying in the sea mud, lying among the seaweed, and sticking to the reef. It was sneaky and looked funny. It thought Cai Hongming didn't notice it, but in fact he saw it when it approached. There was nothing he could do, because its pink body was so eye-catching. But Cai Hongming saw that it had no ill intentions, so he ignored it and continued his sea fishing business. After picking up the sea urchins, Cai Hongming continued to look for other things in the sea. This place is located at the intersection of the river and the sea, and there are many fish. Fish that cannot be seen in other places, such as big yellowtail, big blacktail, big bass, red snapper, shark, ray, golden snapper, etc., are also very common here, and there are also many shellfish. It turned out that there were indeed a lot of them. After searching for a while, he caught some scallops, sea moons and cone snails. Scallops and sea moons are of ordinary size, only cone snails are relatively large. Most of the cone snails sold on the market are about 8 centimeters long, but the one Cai Hongming caught in the sea is as long as 20 centimeters. I believe that such a big thing must be very delicious to eat. He caught a bunch and filled the net bag. Cai Hongming took a look and felt that the things in the net bag were enough for a meal, so he wanted to go ashore. Suddenly, he saw a strange stone under a coral reef next to him. There were several small shelled creatures parasitizing on the stone, and some seaweed crawling on it, which made it look like rust. But no matter how he looked at it, he felt that the stone was very similar to something he had seen before, but he couldn't remember what it was. So he swam over and tried to flip it over. Hey, he couldn't even flip the stone over, so he used some force, but it was quite strenuous. When he caught it, he saw that it was not a stone, but a bigger balloon. Nansao is located on the southeast coast, rich in resources, especially in Dongshan County, which is surrounded by seawater. There are many seafoods in Dongshan. There are already a variety of seafoods in the area, and there are many abalones. It is said that 6% of the abalone species in the country come from Dongshan. Because of this, the price of abalone in Nansao is very cheap, about 20 yuan per catty for a small one, and only about 60 yuan for a large one. When talking about delicacies from mountains and seas in the mainland, lobsters, abalones and shark fins are mentioned. Here, these things are really cheap. In the rural families in Nansao, as long as they have some money, they almost always have abalones and lobsters at wedding banquets. Sometimes, when several families get married in succession, the lobsters and abalones are so delicious that you want to vomit. Cai Hongming had seen and eaten quite a few abalones, but he had never seen one this big. He had seen smaller ones in the market before, but the one in his hand was the size of a palm, and he had no idea what it tasted like. He had never eaten such a big abalone before. Thinking of this, he put the abalone into the net bag and swam to the shore. It was enough for tonight's dinner. The pink manta ray saw the abalone in Cai Hongming's hand, and its eyes blinked cutely. It was unknown what it was thinking, and suddenly turned its head and swam away. Cai Hongming emerged from the sea and walked ashore. At this moment, the pink manta ray swam quickly from a distance, suddenly rushed out of the water, and pounced on the beach in front of him. Then it pushed a stone-like thing on its head in front of Cai Hongming, and pulled the fishing rod with the green Ganoderma hanging on it next to him, and pushed it again, as if it wanted to exchange the stone for the green Ganoderma. This guy, does he think he is a fool? Is he wrong to exchange the stone for Ganoderma? Cai Hongming was complaining in his heart, and suddenly, he found that the stone was not a stone at all, but a big abalone, that was bigger than the abalone in his hand. Swish, it was almost as big as a volleyball. I don't know if it's because he is shallow and has too little experience. He has never heard of an abalone that big, and he has never seen one. Hoo-woo, hoo-woo. Seeing that he didn't move, the pink manta ray pushed the big abalone to Cai Hongming again, and used its two wing-like fleshy fins to fiddle with the green Ganoderma on the hook. It seems that it really wants to exchange the big abalone for the green Ganoderma. Okay. Under its sincere intention, Cai Hongming reluctantly exchanged the green Ganoderma for it. But it didn't ask too much, and also gave it some jade toad liquid diluted with water to drink, which made the little guy so excited that he jumped into the sea, and then rushed out of the sea quickly, flapping his pair of fleshy wings, and flying freely in the air. All this happened in an instant, and by the time Cai Hongming and the others noticed, and ran over to see, it was already done. Cai Hongming saw them coming, and quickly put away the volleyball-sized abalone that the pink manta ray brought. A balone this big is rare in the world, and you can eat it secretly, but it's best not to expose it to the public, lest it be known and cause trouble. Brother, why did that guy come here again just now? Cai Hongming ran over and asked. How should I know? Cai Hongming replied unhappily. Brother, why did Hong come up again? Cai Hong and the other two girls saw the pink manta ray coming up, and ran over to ask. Who is Hong? Cai Hongming was confused. It's the manta ray that you just caught. We named her Hong. How about it? Nice, right? Cai Hong said proudly. Cai Hongming pouted, feeling that he was not good enough, but he didn't say it out loud. It was obvious that the girls had discussed this, and didn't say it out loud for no reason to offend anyone. They just nodded and said, not bad. Wow, brother, where did you catch such a big abalone? Cai Hongming saw the big abalone in Cai Hongming's net bag and immediately shouted. He turned to Kishan and shouted, Uncle, come and see what my brother caught. It's a big abalone the size of a palm. I guarantee you've never seen it before. Lukishan was fishing and walked over when he heard him shouting. Several other anglers were also attracted by what he said and walked over to see. Wow, such a big snail, so beautiful. Cai Hong also shouted when she saw the big cone snail in Cai Hongming's net bag. The two girls next to her listened and nodded. The girls looked at the cone snail with colorful dots on its shell and their eyes were full of love. But Cai Hongming clearly felt that this love was tending to leave him. Chapter 24. Watch me ride the waves and soar into the sky. When Lukishan came over and saw the big abalone in Cai Hongming's net, he didn't think it was strange. He had been in the seafood business for so long, and it was not that he had never seen big abalone. Although this one was a little big, it was only a little bigger than the abalone he had seen before, so it was nothing special. But the cone snails were strange. How could they be so long and so big? Curious, he squatted down and looked at them. These 9-layer snails are very big. Where did they come from? A middle-aged angler asked when he saw the cone snails in the net. Cone snails, also known as pig snails, 9-layer snails, screw snails, and drill snails, are distributed in the southeastern coastal areas of my country in the Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia. In Taiwan, they are distributed in the southwest coastal areas, and the coastal areas of Taichung and Tainan are the main production areas. My brother just fished it out of the sea, Cai Hongsheng boasted beside him. When the two girls saw several anglers coming, they went up to hold the arms of two of the anglers and talked softly, as if they were asking them to buy the cone snails. They had never seen such big cone snails before, and planned to take them back to give as gifts. As expected, after the two girls finished talking, one of the two anglers asked, "Young man, how much do you sell these 9-layer snails for?" "Sorry, I plan to take them back to eat myself," Cai Hongming said. He had never thought of selling these things when he caught them. Now the price of 9-layer snails in the market is only more than 10 yuan per pound. Although the ones he caught from the sea are big, at most they can only be worth a few dozen yuan, even if the price is doubled or doubled. He didn't care what a few dozen yuan could do. "How can you eat so much? Sell half to us," another angler said. "Why fight for such a small amount? Since there are some below, let him catch some," a fisherman said next to him. "Then, young man, help us catch some, and we will pay double the price for it." Cai Hongming smacked his lips and thought to himself, did he look like someone who needed a little money? But seeing that they were the sponsors of his uncle, in order to build a good relationship, he nodded and went into the water. As soon as he entered the water, the pink manta ray that was still playing nearby swam over and circled around him. Cai Hongming ignored it and swam straight to the place where he found the cone snail. After a while, he arrived at the place, but suddenly remembered that he forgot to bring a bag to carry things, so he hurriedly went ashore to get a net bag, and then picked out the largest cone snails from the group of cone snails, and put them in. The pink manta ray watched for a while and swam away. After a while, it actually swam back with a cone snail that was larger than the cone snail Cai Hongming found. Seeing the snail in its mouth, Cai Hongming's eyelids jumped. He originally thought that the cone snail he found was already very big, but he didn't know that there is always a mountain to climb. The pink manta ray came to Cai Hongming with the snail in its mouth, put it down, and pushed it to him, as if to give it to him. Cai Hongming picked it up and saw that it was not a cone snail, but a rotating tower snail like a pagoda. The tower snail is about half a meter high, covered with seaweed and some parasitic shellfish. This thing is so big, if it is processed a little, it will be a perfect handicraft. It would be a waste to eat it. He took a look at it and immediately put it into the cave paradise in the jade tripod, intending to take it to Ginong to display it at home for people to appreciate. The people there have never seen these things, and they must be surprised again. In order to reward the pink manta ray for the huge tower snail it brought, he specially took out a small Ganoderma lucidum from the cave paradise in the jade tripod for it to eat, and patted its head in a friendly manner. After the little guy ate the small green Ganoderma lucidum, he happily spun and shuffled around him. The huge fleshy fin stirred the waves brought by the sea water, which made Cai Hongming step back involuntarily. Suddenly, he thought, isn't this sea a natural martial arts training ground? Sea boxing is light and elegant, and the density and gravity of seawater will undoubtedly slow down people's movements in the water. If you can practice boxing in the sea to the point of being flexible and free, then the speed on land will definitely be faster. Thinking about it, Cai Hongming's heart was moved, so he put down the net bag in his hand and tried to practice the flying crane fist. The boxing method was restricted by the seawater, and the speed was not fast, just like a movie with slow key pressed, just moving little by little. After a few times, Cai Hongming found that this method was feasible to practice the flying crane fist, so he planned to work hard from the evening and practice martial arts in the sea to see if he could practice the flying crane fist that he had abandoned before in these few months. The pink manta ray swam around him, watching him dancing and not knowing what he was doing, so it swam over curiously and watched him. Cai Hongming stopped and saw it, so he reached out and touched its head. Seeing that it did not resist and swam away in panic, he got an idea and climbed onto its back. The little guy did not resist, but excitedly flapped his fleshy fins and swam away quickly. Cai Hongming was almost scared to death. Where is this guy swimming? If he swims to the deep sea, he will be finished. Fortunately, the pink manta ray had no intention of swimming to the deep sea. After swimming around for a while, it suddenly rushed up, jumped out of the water, and flew freely in the sea. Hoo-woo, hoo-woo. The pink manta ray flapped its fleshy fins and called happily. After flying for a while, the pink manta ray fell down and glided on the sea. At this time, Cai Hongming stood up from its back suddenly, and he was gliding on the sea like a skateboard. The sound of the wind was extraordinary. He thought he should take a photo, so he shouted to Cai Hongsheng on the shore, "Hongsheng, take a photo quickly." The people on the shore were stunned when they saw him standing on the back of the manta ray. It was not until he heard his voice that Cai Hongsheng hurriedly picked up his mobile phone to take a photo, but unfortunately, the pink manta ray had returned to the sea. When he arrived in the sea, Cai Hongming rewarded the pink manta ray with a green Ganoderma lucidum and let it continue to fly. It was unknown whether the little guy understood what he meant, but he actually flew up to the surface of the sea again, and then landed on the sea and glided. At this time, Cai Hongming stood up from its back and used it as a skateboard to cut through the waves. Cai Hongsheng and others on the shore were prepared this time, and they all took out their mobile phones to take pictures. This was strange. They had never seen it before. After playing for a while, Cai Hongming swam back to the place where he picked up the cone snails and took the net bag full of things to the shore. I don't know if the pink manta ray was addicted to playing, but it was reluctant to leave him. It lay on the beach and cried woo woo woo, which looked very pitiful. It didn't leave happily until Cai Hongming contributed another green Ganoderma lucidum. After landing and selling the cone snails he picked up to 2 anglers, Cai Hongming did not go into the water or fish again, but walked to the small mangrove mudflat behind the island, intending to catch some hairy crabs and red wolf-toothed gobers to eat. Chapter 25 Dragon and Tiger Jade Paste. There are many creatures on the mangrove mudflats, not just fish and crabs. There are also some other creatures. When Cai Hongming arrived, he saw large and small hairy crabs lying on the mudflats under the mangroves and blowing bubbles. When these things saw people coming, they ran to their own holes, and there was a lot of chaos. The island is far away from human habitation, so no one comes here to catch hairy crabs. This gives the hairy crabs on the island space to reproduce and thrive. Generation after generation, the number of hairy crabs here is considerable, and they are also very large and fat. Cai Hongming picked some of the larger ones and took them back. Then he took a plastic bucket from where his uncle kept things and looked for red wolf-toothed gobers in the mangroves. While looking for them, he saw big mud skippers jumping around on the mudflats, so he picked some up. Although the big mud skippers are relatively small and don't have much meat, they are delicious. I don't know why. Wild things are often better than domestic ones. For example, chickens raised in the wild taste different from those raised with feed. The meat of free-range chicken is tougher, and the bones are harder than those of feed-fed chicken. The same is true for fish. Most fish raised in ponds have a smell of earth, and even some smell of feed. It may not taste good when it is just cooked, but when it is cold, the taste is simply inedible. Cai Hongming caught a lot of scattered things, and even if he didn't fish, he would have a great harvest. However, the old anglers who came to the island also had a good harvest. This is originally a sea area rich in fish resources, and with the skills of these old anglers, it is difficult not to catch fish. Sometimes you are lucky enough to encounter a school of fish, and you will get a lot of harvest. With these harvests, when the sky was full of red clouds, a group of people took a cruise ship and left in the sunset. The pink manta ray playing below even flew up for a while to bid farewell. In the evening, Cai Hongming made another delicious meal and asked his friend Cai Zengson to take some of the remaining seafood back to eat. After dinner and a rest, he did not go to the hot spring with Cai Zengson, but went around Zenwei village and came to the rocky beach behind the village. At this time, the tide was high, and the huge rocks that originally stood in the sea were all submerged by the seawater, leaving only a few tall stone pillars emerging from the water. Cai Hongming took a look, took off his clothes, and walked towards the sea. He walked slowly into the water until his head was submerged. He realized that his idea of practicing martial arts in the sea seemed too simple, and he forgot the buoyancy of the seawater. As soon as he entered the water, he felt his body floating up involuntarily. How could he practice martial arts like this? Suddenly, he had an idea, ran ashore, found 2 large stones, and tied them to his feet, so that he could barely stand in the sea. He walked slowly, and came to the rocks submerged by the seawater. At this moment, the surging tide rushed straight towards him, after entangled in the rocks several times. Caught off guard, he lost his balance, and was pushed back again and again. He had to move back a little to avoid being affected by the dark waves among the rocks. It seems that the seabed is indeed a good place to practice flying crane fist, especially in this rocky beach. The rocky beach is impacted by the rising and falling tides, and the huge water force brought by the waves below can be used for physical training. In the past few years, I have been too lazy. I practiced for 3 days fishing, and 2 days drying the nets, and my body skin and flesh have become loose. This time, I should be able to practice again, by training with seawater. After all, I still have the foundation. Thinking of this, Cai Hongming began to practice flying crane fist in the sea. Fists go out, and fists are attracted. Fists rise and fall, bringing up waves, which is very challenging. At first, Cai Hongming was not used to it, but after a while, he gradually got used to it, and his boxing skills gradually became proficient from the original rigidity. After a night of practice, his arms were weak and his waist and back ached. He went back to take a shower, and was too tired to get up from the bed. However, he knew it was not time to rest yet, so he took out the black jade gourd from the blessed land in the jade tripod, drank some water diluted jade toad liquid, sat cross-legged on the bed, and began to practice the ancient Kigan Taixi Sutra. There was no conversation all night, and when he woke up again, Cai Hongming felt energetic, and the fatigue caused by practicing last night was swept away, but his body and bones were still sore. It seems that it is not so easy to practice a good skill. Cai Hongming got off the bed with emotion, dressed and washed, and was about to go to eat, but suddenly remembered the books his grandfather gave him. He didn't read those books much after he took them back, but he remembered that when he was reading them in his grandfather's room, he seemed to see a paste recipe in the book for treating muscle and bone pain caused by martial arts practice. Thinking of this, he quickly took out the books that his grandfather gave him that recorded the paste recipes and read them. Sure enough, the book recorded a paste recipe called Dragon and Tiger Forged Jade Paste. This paste recipe is a plaster based on dragon and tiger bones, supplemented by other medicinal materials. According to the book, this plaster can also be turned into a bath decoction to cleanse the body, but the amount of medicine used is a bit too much, so Cai Hongming did not consider it. If the decoction is used according to the book, even if his family has these medicines in their collection, they may not be able to use them many times. After looking at the ointment prescription, Cai Hongming memorized all the medicinal ingredients and went out to eat. After dinner, he took a small portion of the medicinal materials of the Dragon Tiger Forged Jade Paste from the pharmacy, crushed them, mixed them with his own dragon bone powder, and found a small red clay stove and casserole, preparing to boil the plaster in the backyard. He did not know the efficacy of the plaster recorded in the book, so he took a small portion to try the effect first. The Dragon Tiger Forge Jade Paste is a soft ointment, and the method of boiling it is more complicated than the last time the dragon bone ointment was made. First, the crushed medicinal materials must be soaked in lard for half a day. After the medicinal materials are soaked in lard, they can be placed on the fire and boiled over a low fire. After boiling to a certain degree, the medicinal materials must be picked up and cooled, and then put down to boil again. Repeat this 3 times. When all the medicinal properties of the herbs are fried and refined, filter the residue. When the plaster cools down, the plaster is ready. The Dragon Tiger Forge Jade Paste is very cool to apply, but if it is combined with the heat of the skin, it will become hot. This heat penetrates into the bones, and you will feel itchy. Cai Hongming applied a little on his hands and felt itchy. This kind of itching went deep into the bones, but it was still within the tolerable range. It was also strange that after the itching, he actually felt that the soreness in his body was reduced. At this time, Cai Hongming had to cite the magic of the plaster left by his ancestors. Seeing that the plaster was so effective, he went to get another large portion of herbs, crushed them, and then added dragon bone powder. He continued to make the plaster in the room where he specialized in making plasters at home. Chapter 26 Entering the Mountain. In the room, medicinal vapors were steaming, and strong medicinal fragrances were gushing out with the vapors. The temperature of the boiled plaster was almost right. Cai Hongming held a stick and kept stirring the Dragon and Tiger Forge Jade Paste in the large casserole to prevent the plaster from sticking to the bottom and burning. Nowadays, many people use cast iron or stainless steel pots to boil plasters. Although these two things are convenient to use, they are sometimes incompatible with some Chinese medicines. The medicinal properties will melt the iron stains in the pot, making the boiled plaster contain iron element. It is okay for external application, but it is not okay for long-term internal use. Therefore, Cai Hongming's family uses casseroles to boil plasters. Although it is troublesome to use, they have persisted for so many years. Hongming, what kind of plaster are you making? Cai Lang smelled the aroma of the plaster and walked in from outside. He was very satisfied with this grandson. Not only did he inherit the bone-setting massage passed down from his family, but he also boiled the ancestral plaster to perfection, which was really rare. Dragon Tiger Jade Paste. Cai Hongming said as he stirred the paste in the casserole. When he saw that the heat was almost ready, he quickly filtered out the residue and put it aside to cool. After it cooled, he put it into the prepared medicine bottles one by one. Cai Lang watched from the side. When he finished filling the medicine, he scooped a little plaster from a bottle and applied it on his hands. The plaster was cool to the touch, but the coolness soon became hot under the fumigation of body temperature. Then the heat intensified and seeped into the bones, and an itchy feeling came. Cai Lang felt surprised. He remembered that the effect of the Dragon Tiger Jade Paste he made last time didn't seem so strong. He couldn't help but ask suspiciously, Hongming, did you use our family's medicinal materials to make the plaster? Yes, but the dragon bones are not. I dug some dragon bones in the northwest and felt that the medicinal effect is good, so I use that. As he said, Cai Hongming took out some dragon bone powder to show his grandfather. Cai Lang took some powder from the dragon bone powder he took out and put it in his mouth to taste it. Dragon bone is a traditional Chinese medicine, also known as Lu Hu Yixing, Naga bone, raw dragon bone, calcined dragon bone, five-flowered dragon bone, green dragon bone, flowered dragon bone, white dragon bone. It is a fossil of the bones of ancient mammals such as elephants, rhinoceroses, and three-toed horses. Long ago, Chinese medicine has records of using dragon bones as medicine. Compendium of Materia Medica records. Dragon bones can benefit the kidneys and calm the nerves, stop malaria, absorb moisture, prolapse of the anus, promote tissue growth and heal sores, and can remove the ulcers. Therefore, Cheng said that it can restrain the floating positive energy, consolidate the large intestine and calm the nerves. It is also the main cause of belt meridian disease. Compendium of Materia Medica also records. Dragon bones are astringent and mainly astringent. All diarrhea, dysentery, intestinal perforation, women's leakage, metrorrhagia, and hematuria are all caused by blood heat stagnation. The method should be to clear the way and relieve the stagnation. Do not use astringent agents. fearing that the stagnation of blood stasis inside can cause harm. However, it is not taboo for those who have been exhausted due to long-term illness. As expected of an expert, after just one taste, Cai Lang felt that the dragon bone that Cai Hongming brought back was stronger than the dragon bone collected at home. So, he said to Cai Hongming, "Do you have any more of this dragon bone powder? If you do, give me some." "Grandpa, how much do you want?" "I have a lot of this dragon bone powder. If you have it, leave me a pound." "Yes." Cai Hongming nodded, and after filling the dragon bone jade paste, he took a pound of dragon bone powder from the cave paradise in the jade tripod, and gave it to his grandfather. It was almost afternoon when the paste was boiled, so he did not go out. After bringing the boiled paste back to the room, he took off his clothes, and took the paste to rub his whole body, then sat cross-legged on the bed, waiting for the medicinal effect to dissipate. After a while, when the medicinal power of the dragon tiger jade paste was all heated and stimulated by the body temperature, he realized that something was wrong. He felt that the itch of applying the plaster all over the body and the itch of applying it on the hands were completely two different concepts. This itch went from the skin and fur into the flesh, and went straight to the bones, and it itched into the bone marrow. Even scratching could not stop it. Finally, the itching became unbearable, and he had no choice but to take a cold shower to see if he could reduce the itch. However, he found helplessly that this itch was not on the surface of the skin, but in the flesh and bones, and there was no solution at all. For a moment, he didn't know what to do, so he had to sit on the bed and endure it. The itch went deep into his bones, and it felt like countless ants were crawling inside, which was really unbearable. However, he could only hold it in, hoping that the itch would pass quickly. Unfortunately, the opposite happened. Not only did the itch not pass, but it gradually intensified, making him tremble uncontrollably due to the itch. He couldn't stand it anymore, so he got up and practiced Fihikun. After a while, he found that boxing could actually relieve the itch that went deep into his bones, and he was immediately overjoyed and hurriedly continued boxing. He didn't know how many times he practiced before the itch gradually faded away. At this time, he was pleasantly surprised to find that after so many rounds of boxing, his body was not tired at all, but full of energy and spirit. It seems that applying the dragon tiger forging jade paste should be combined with boxing. I don't know why it is not mentioned in the plaster. Cai Hongming quickly took out the books that his grandfather gave him and read them carefully, intending to find something related from them. Finally, he found a few words in the notes of his ancestors, which said, "At the beginning of body training, rubbing the whole body with forging jade paste is beneficial." Cai Hongming was speechless. If he had known earlier, he would have practiced boxing and would not have to endure the itching for so long. Now he did not dare to neglect it and hurriedly read the book seriously so as not to forget anything again. After reading it, his eyes were full of horror. The things recorded in the book were really amazing. Not only was there the mystery of Fi boxing that was not passed on, but there were also killer moves such as tendon cutting and pulse cutting that would kill the person who was hit, and some plasters that looked very powerful, which were really unheard of. No wonder his grandfather did not dare to pass this thing on casually. If this thing is in the hands of a person with weak strength, it is not only not a good thing, but it may be a disaster. It's a pity that he is not proficient in boxing now, and he can't practice the tricks in the book at all. Otherwise he really wants to try the moves recorded in the book, but now he can only think about it. The next day, Cai Hongming, who had nothing to do, took out a gun from home, carried a small backpack with water and some food, and went to the mountain, intending to walk in the mountain. Who would have thought that he would be seen by Cai Hongming, who had been staring at him for a long time, and followed him. "Brother, are you going to the mountains?" "I will go too." "What are you going to do?" "Not to work," Cai Hongming asked. "Didn't I tell you last time? I want to take a break, and don't want to work anymore," Cai Hongming said, and then asked, "Brother, should we bring a pneumatic gun with us?" "Why bring that thing? What if it hits someone?" Cai Hongming said unhappily. "The wind gun, or gun, is not very powerful. Sometimes it may not even penetrate the bark of a tree. However, it is more than enough to shoot ordinary birds. If you encounter a powerful bird of prey, it may not be able to kill it. Young people like to play with this thing, and many people in the countryside play with it. However, this thing is fast and powerful at close range. If you accidentally shoot it into soft parts such as the eyes or ears, it may also cause serious injuries. Therefore, Cai Hongming has never liked to play with it. The most important thing is that he accidentally got shot in the foot while playing. Although it was just a skin break, he was very upset. Moreover, the government now has strict control over guns and other things. If nothing happens, no one may care about you, but if something happens, the consequences will be serious. Therefore, it is better not to touch those things if you can. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 27, Hornet's Nest and Wild Persimmon Forest. The sky exudes soft light, clear and far away, making people want to hear the singing of the high-flying skylarks, just as looking at the blue sea makes people want to see a white sail. Behind Kajia village is a barren mountain. In the past, the village planted a few acres of tea here, but later it was abandoned for some reason. It has been 30 or 40 years now, and the trees are 4 or 5 meters high. Although no one cares about the tea trees, they are growing very well. Cai Hongming used to go up the mountain to pick tea leaves and make tea, and the taste was better than the ones bought. Looking at the tall tea trees on the barren mountain, Cai Hongming wondered whether to transplant a few of them to the cave paradise in Uding, so that he could pick the tender buds and stir fry them to drink, so as to avoid always buying the garbage tea on the market. However, this idea has to be done when no one is around, otherwise it would be bad if someone saw it. Winding up along the mountain road, we entered the depths of the dense forest. The woods were covered with thick weeds, and the vigorous and green pine trees stood proudly in the weeds. The mountain breeze blew, and the pine waves rang out, and this sound beat the heart, making people feel comfortable and happy. Cai Hongming inhaled the fresh air floating in the wind, just like drinking a glass of mellow wine, which made people intoxicated. At this moment, he finally understood the artistic conception of the ancient poem. The cicadas chirping in the forest makes it more quiet, and the birds singing in the mountains makes it more secluded. In the distance, a mountain spring flowed through the woods, leaving a string of tinkling melodies. This music from nature gently knocks on people's gentle hearts. There are mostly evergreen broadleaf forests on the mountain. Although it is spring all year round in southern Fujian, some trees still lose their leaves. The sunlight pours down through the gaps in the branches, reflecting the ancient trees' twisted branches and old bark, which looks like a poetic landscape painting. The nearby mountains and forests are different from those in the distance. They appear clear and distinct with distinct outlines. There are densely growing trees of different sizes and varieties in front, behind, left and right. Some trees have lost all their leaves, leaving only sparse bare branches that stretch out resolutely, and the slender trunks stand proudly. Some trees still have a few withered and yellow leaves. Some trees are still lush and green, but this green is not as vibrant as in other seasons, and has more seasonal richness. Some trees have bright red leaves adorning the branches, like a bunch of blooming roses, like a bunch of fluttering red butterflies, like a bright cloud. In this originally withered and bleak winter, people feel the beauty of life. Cai Hongming walked while looking for thatch in the mountains, looking for them more and carefully writing it down. Thatch root is imperator root, a Chinese medicine, sweet in taste and cold in nature. It cools blood, stops bleeding, clears heat and promotes diuresis. It is especially delicious when used to stew meat. He plans to dig some and plant them in the land he bought. The roots of thatch can be used to stew soup, and the grass can be used to feed livestock, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. More importantly, thatch has strong vitality. As long as there are roots and a little rain, it can survive. This is one of the reasons why Cai Hongming wants to take thatch to the northwest to plant. Brother, look, what is that? Suddenly, Cai Hongsheng next to him shouted. Cai Hongming turned his head to look at the place where he pointed and saw a hornet's nest more than 1 person high hanging in the woods not far away. Densely packed hornets flew in and out from time to time, which made people's scalps numb. Without him saying it, he knew what he was going to do. He must want to catch hornets. In many people's minds, hornets are poisonous. If you are stung too much, you will die. Even if you are stung a few times, you will swell like a steamed bun. But to be honest, hornets are also good things. Soaking hornets in wine can treat acute and chronic rheumatic pain and rheumatoid arthritis. On the market, the highest price of an adult hornet can reach 5 yuan, and it is usually about 1 yuan. Not only hornets, but also bee pupae are good things. Bee pupae are high in protein, but low in fat. They are a very high-end natural nutritious food, and they taste amazing. Just fry them a little and sprinkle them with pepper and salt, and they will be a rare delicacy. Cai Hongming thought about it and was drooling. It was a pity that they didn't bring any weapons. Catching wasps is a technical job. It's not that you can just rush up and pick them up. It's lucky if you don't get stung by a wasp. To catch a wasp, you must first be fully armed, that is, buy a thick raincoat and put it on. Then put on rain boots and gloves, and wear a safety helmet on your head. Make sure to cover your whole body tightly and don't get stung by a wasp. If you get stung, it's your ancestors' blessing. After wearing these things, catching wasps is easy. Just take a plastic bag and cover the wasp nest. When you get home, you can deal with it however you want. I didn't bring anything. What's the use? Cai Zengxin said next to him. I'll go back and get it. Cai Hongsheng said excitedly. What to take? Don't go up the mountain. If you want to catch it, come back and catch it. It won't run away. Cai Hongming shouted. Cai Hongsheng felt that it made sense, so he didn't say anything and continued to walk forward. After walking a few steps, there was a sound in the bushes, and then 2 pheasants flew out of it, flapping their wings and flying away. Cai Hongsheng looked at it and muttered, I should have brought a gun with me earlier. Look, now I can't catch anything. I look at the pheasants flying away from the front, like a fool. The government is strict now, so it's better not to use guns, otherwise you won't be able to explain if something happens. Cai Zengxin said, if you don't want your second uncle to see you in the cage, it's best not to play with guns. Especially don't tell anyone that there is a gun at home. Be careful of something happening. Cai Hongming warned. Cai Hongsheng nodded in response. He was not a 3-year-old child. He understood these things, but sometimes he couldn't help but feel itchy. This man understood everything. Who doesn't like guns? After walking over a hillside, there is a wild persimmon forest in front. The leaves on the wild persimmon trees have all fallen off, but there are still some bright red wild persimmons hanging on the trees. Although this kind of wild persimmon tastes sweet, it is bitter after the sweetness. Cai Hongming used to pick it and eat it when he saw it was so red. After eating it, his mouth was astringent all day long, and everything he ate had no taste. Later, he learned that this thing must be removed after picking it, otherwise it is inedible. But even if he knew the reason, he never picked persimmons here again since then. This is where they used to come often, especially in autumn. The persimmon forest in autumn is golden, and the branches are full of persimmons, which is particularly beautiful. They are a group of little brats here to offer sweet potatoes and roast game, and they are very happy. Thinking about the childhood, it was really happy. Now I have grown up, although I have a lot of things, I have lost too much. Some people say that women are fickle animals. But in fact, whether it is women or men, adults, or children, as long as they are people, they are very fickle. When I was young, I always dreamed of growing up and having my own sky. When I was older, I yearned for my childhood life, always feeling that, although I was poor, I was happy. Now that I'm rich, I feel empty, lonely and sad. Humans are actually very complex and contradictory animals. P.S. I had something urgent to do and was away for 2 days. I just got home. I found that when I open a new book, I have a lot of things to do. Chapter 28, Munkjack. After walking a section of the mountain road, Cai Hongming and the other 3 were tired, so they sat down by the persimmon forest to rest. There used to be a pond next to the persimmon forest, and a nunnery was built beside the pond. However, the nunnery has been destroyed now, and only a few stone pillars are left standing alone, which looks extremely desolate. After the nunnery was destroyed, the pond was gradually filled with mud and sand washed down from the mountain, because no one took care of it, and it was full of silver grass flowers. Now is the season when silvergrass flowers are in full bloom. The silvergrass flowers like dogtails sway in the wind, and the flying catkins float, like fireflies flying between the blue sky and white clouds, like a timeless poem, beautiful and magnificent. After a rest, Cai Hongming cut a few straight branches, made them into wooden spears, and then practiced throwing them in the open space next to them. After a while, he felt that his accuracy was good, so he wanted to use it to hunt wild animals in the mountains. When Cai Hongming saw it, he went to the woods to find some wild vines, made a few simple traps and cages, and placed them in the woods not far from the roadside. If they are lucky, they should be able to catch some rabbits, pheasants and other small animals when they come back. Cai Hongming saw the two people's actions and ran into the woods to look for things. He was lucky enough to find a dry mountain vine. He used a knife to cut off a section of the mountain vine about 2 meters long and took some skin from the mountain vine. Then he turned around to find a big tree, found some tough tree tendons under the bark, and returned to the place where the few people rested. He processed the mountain vine with a knife and made it into a temporary rattan bow. Finally, he found some straight branches and made arrows for hunting. The old mountain vine looks soft, but it is very hard after drying and has strong elasticity. In addition to being used to make furniture, it can also be used to make bows and arrows. It's just that the range is not very far, but Cai Hongming doesn't need it to shoot very far. As long as he can shoot pheasants and hares, it's fine. He was still very unwilling to let the two pheasants fly away from him just now. Kajia village was very poor in the past. In addition to taking care of their own few acres of thin land, the villagers relied on hunting to make a living. Cai Hongming and others often went up the mountain with adults and learned the skills of hunting in the mountains. Now that the villagers are rich, few people go into the mountains to harm the animals in the mountains. The mountains and forests have become an amusement park for them. They often come to play and get some wild game to eat. Cai Hongming didn't bring anything with him when he went up the mountain, so after making the trap, he took a knife from Cai Hongming and went to the woods to cut a thick branch to make a stick for self-defense. Although there are no large beasts such as tigers and bears in the mountains now, there are still many wild animals such as mountain dogs, wild boars, and porcupines, so you still have to be careful. Not only should you pay attention to these big guys, but you should also be careful of snakes. The weather in southern Fujian is not as cold as in the north, so sometimes snakes don't hibernate. If you are bitten by accident, then God bless you. After preparing things, several people continued to move forward. Cai Hongming had no purpose for this trip into the mountains. He just went wherever he wanted. The sky was azure blue, and the mountain breeze blew the branches and made them shake. There were piles of withered and yellow tree leaves on the ground, which made a creaking sound when stepped on. In the silent forest and the bleak cold wind, it sounded a bit scary. Suddenly, there was a cry of an eagle above his head. Cai Hongming looked up and saw several eagles circling in the sky, as if looking for prey. Unfortunately, the distance was too far, and Cai Hongming's newly made rattan bow could not shoot at all, so he could only watch with envy. Eagles are very common here. In the past, they would fly to the village to eat chickens, but now they dare not do so. Most of them are active in the mountains. After looking at it for a while, they felt that there was nothing to see, so the three of them continued to move forward. They were lucky on the way and caught a pair of asterisk pheasants, so they had a meal this afternoon. After crossing a hillside, they came to a stream with large rocks. Now it is the dry season, and there is only a little stream flowing in the stream. It was almost noon, so Cai Hongming and his friends stopped to prepare for lunch. There were some stream fish and crabs in the wild in the mountain stream. Although they were not big, they tasted very sweet. After the three of them stopped, some caught fish, some caught crabs, and some processed pheasants. They all got busy. Cai Hongming planned to have lunch in the mountains, so he and Cai Hongming brought some lightweight stainless steel pots and rice, oil and salt. After catching the stream fish and crabs, Cai Hongming processed them. He casually built a stone stove on a big rock in the stream, put the stainless steel pot on it, lit firewood, fried some fish and crabs with some oil, and then put water in to boil. He fried the stainless steel pot until it was pitch black. Fortunately, his mother was not there, otherwise she would probably scold him again. After the fish was cooked, he put the washed rice on the stone stove to cook, then built a fire, skewered the 2 pheasants he had killed and roasted them on it. After a while, the hot firewood roasted the pheasant and made it fragrant. Cai Hongming quickly took a knife and cut a few holes on it, sprinkled barbecue powder on each, and then continued to roast. After a while, a stronger fragrance wafted out, making Cai Hongming drool. "Brother, is it done?" Cai Hongming asked, while swallowing his saliva. "Almost." Cai Hongming smiled when he saw him like that. After a while, the fat pheasant was roasted and dripping with golden meat oil. Cai Hongming saw that it was almost done, so he took it down. The pheasant was roasted, the rice was cooked, and the fish soup was boiling white, and the 3 of them started to eat. When they went up the mountain, Cai Hongming didn't know that Cai Zengson was coming, so he only brought 2 bowls and 2 pairs of chopsticks. But it didn't matter. He and Cai Hongming each served a bowl of rice and let Cai Zengson eat directly from the pot. Chopsticks were simple. He just broke the chopsticks in his hand and split them into 2. Although they were a bit shorter, they were barely edible. The fragrant roast chicken, the snow white and thick fish soup, and the wildness made people's appetites wet. In the end, the 3 of them were so full that they leaned on the rocks to digest the food. "This pheasant tastes good, unlike the chicken in the store outside, which has no chewiness at all." Cai Hongming used a chicken bone as a toothpick and said while picking his teeth. Suddenly, there was a sound in the forest. Cai Hongming interrupted him and told him to be quiet. He picked up the wooden spear next to him and was careful. Cai Hongming and Cai Zengson looked at it and each picked up their own things to be on guard. This is a water source, and there must be animals coming here to drink water frequently. Although there are no large animals in the mountains, there are many wild boars, leopards, mountain dogs and the like, so it is better to be careful in everything. After a while, the forest made no sound. After a while, after the 3 thought that the things inside had run away, there was another sound in the forest, and then a figure walked out of the forest. "Musk deer." "No, it's a mudjack." Cai Hongming thought the animal coming to the stream was a mudjack, but suddenly found that it was not right, because mudjack does not have horns, but the guy in front of him clearly has a pair of sharp short horns that bend inward on his head, so it should be a mudjack. This is a good thing. Cai Hongming thought, quietly raised his wooden spear and aimed it at the mudjack by the stream. The mudjack walked out of the woods, looked around vigilantly, and found that there was no danger, so he lowered his head and drank water with peace of mind. At this moment, Cai Hongming suddenly threw his wooden spear. When he threw the wooden spear, the mudjack heard the sound and turned around to run. But it was too late. The wooden spear came quickly and pierced its left leg. The mudjack staggered and fell to the ground. But he quickly got up and quickly went into the woods. Cai Hongming quickly jumped out from behind the stone and chased after it. The man and the mudjack shuffled quickly through the forest. In the end, the injured mudjack lost too much blood and could not run faster than Cai Hongming. It collapsed to the ground and was caught by Cai Hongming. Later, Cai Hongming and Cai Zengson caught up with them. Seeing the mudjack that had been tied up tightly by Cai Hongming, they laughed happily. Especially Cai Hongming. He was so happy that he walked with the wind, as if he had caught the mudjack. With such a big harvest, and having entered the deep mountains and old forests, the 3 of them didn't bring anything with them, so it was not appropriate to go in. They packed up their food and walked out of the mountain. Chapter 29, Fool. On the way back, Cai Zengson checked the traps he had set in the morning, but found that no prey had been caught. He felt a little disappointed, so he took a knife to destroy the traps. He was afraid that the prey would fall into the traps after he left, and he would not come to get them, and they would starve to death. That would be a sin. When he was about to get to the place where he saw a hornet's nest that was more than 1 meter high, Cai Hongming ran home to get his raincoat, rain boots and other things to put on, and ran up with a huge plastic bag, followed by a person. Cai Hongming and Cai Zengson looked at each other and asked, "Why is this idiot here?" "He saw me taking things on the road, and he followed me desperately, and he didn't listen to anything I said. I was too lazy to care about him." After Cai Hongming finished speaking, he took the plastic bag and walked towards the tree with the hornet's nest. The hornet's nest was so big that it pressed the branches down, and even the hornet's nest was carried not far from the ground. Cai Hongming found a stone nearby and placed it next to the hornet's nest. He stood on it and took a large plastic bag and put it under the hornet's nest. Cai Hongming and Cai Zengxin saw his action and hurriedly ran far away to avoid being stung by the hornets that flew out when he put the hornet's nest together. After they ran out, they saw Sha, who came up with Cai Hongming, still standing there stupidly watching, and hurriedly called him over. But Sha didn't listen, just stood there curiously watching. When Cai Hongming made a noise, when he put the hornet's nest together, the hornets inside flew out and saw him flying towards him, and he was scared and ran away, but it was too late. Cai Hongming and Cai Zengxin saw it and hurriedly took off their outer clothes and ran over to help drive away the hornets that stung him. By the time the hornets were driven away, Sha had been stung several times on his head and face, and they were swollen in just a moment. Seeing his eyelids so swollen that he could hardly see, and his head was stung several times and swollen like a Buddha's head, Cai Hongming and Cai Zengxin laughed heartily. Sha is a villager. His real name is Axi. He is a close relative of Cai Hongming, and he has been playing with him since he was a child. There is nothing wrong with his body and personality, but he is very stupid. How stupid is he? He does whatever he is told to do, but sometimes his personality is twisted, and he just doesn't listen to anything. He has a lot of glorious things. He once pooped in class. At that time, Cai Hongming was his deskmate, and he was so angry that he wanted to kick him to death. He once lifted a girl's skirt, saying that it was not breathable and would sweat inside. He once peed on the edge of the stage when the national flag was raised. He once said to the substitute female teacher, "Teacher, I'm hungry. Can you give me the steamed buns on your body?" The female teacher had big breasts, and he thought she was hiding steamed buns. Anyway, he has done countless things that are too tough to list. Sometimes Cai Hongming would be so angry with him that he would kill himself, so there was always a wooden stick at home, and he would beat him when he was unhappy. He thought that the reason why Sha looked so normal now was related to being beaten by him. After a while, Cai Hongming came out of the woods with a wasp's nest and saw wasps flying aimlessly in the plastic bag, which made people's scalps numb. At this time, Sha didn't know what was wrong with him, and he ran down the mountain, which made people confused. "What's wrong with Sha?" Cai Hongming asked curiously. Cai Hongming shook his head, and he didn't know what was going on. After catching the wasp, the three of them walked down the mountain. When they got home, the wasp was half dead because it was trapped in the plastic bag without air permeability. Cai Hongming went to buy several large bottles of high alcohol wine, and together with Cai Hongming and Cai Zengxin, they picked out the wasps in the plastic bag and put them into soak. During this time, Sha ran over to take a look and saw that the three were busy and ran away again, and no one knew what he was doing. After the three of them put all the wasps in the plastic bag into the bottle to soak in wine, it was almost dark, and Cai Hongming and others quickly dealt with the remaining bee pupae. There were countless bee pupae in the wasp nest more than 1 meter high, and they could not eat them all in one day. They took out the upper layer of bee pupae first, and kept the rest for tomorrow. In the evening, Cai Hongming fried the bee pupae and sprinkled them with pepper and salt, boiled the muntjac in plain water, had it in a hot pot, braised it, or marinated it with garlic juice and salt, mixed it with eggs and sweet potato flour, and prepared a table of delicious dishes. Of course, it was not all meat dishes. There were also a few vegetables. I don't know if it was because of the smell. Sha actually came here with his wife at dinner time. This Sha is also lucky. Although the wife he married is a little ugly, she is good at managing the family and keeping a home in order. Everyone in the village praises her. "What are you doing here?" Cai Hongming asked Sha when he saw him. "I brought my wife to eat the bee pupae that you and I caught together." Sha raised his head and said confidently, "I caught it with you?" Cai Hongming raised his eyebrows. "Of course, look at my face. If I didn't catch it with you, how could I be stung by a wasp?" Sha pointed at his face. If anyone said he was stupid at this time, then he was really stupid. Cai Hongming was so angry that smoke was coming out of his head. He said to Sha, "Come here. I promise not to beat you to death. I'm not afraid." Sha said stubbornly. You only know the crane fist. I know the tiger crane double form fist, which has one more punch than you, so I'm not afraid of you. When did you learn the tiger crane double form fist? Cai Hongming asked in surprise. My wife is a tiger, so of course I can use the tiger crane double form fist. After saying that, Sha also made a white crane drying its wings, which made Cai Hongming and Cai Zengxin in the hall laugh. Cai Hongming was speechless to the sky. Talking to this fool, he felt that his IQ was much lower. Okay, stop talking nonsense and eat together. Zahra, sit down. You're welcome to come over here. We are used to playing with Axie. Cai Hongming said to his silly wife Huang Xiaohe. Yeah. Huang Xiaohe had been brought here by Sha for several meals, so she got used to it. She looked around and found that Cai Shai and Shao and the others were not there. She couldn't help but ask, where are uncle and grandpa? Inside. Cai Hongming said to Cai Hongming, who was still angry, go and call second uncle, second aunt, grandpa and the others, to come out for dinner. Cai Hongming hurriedly ran to call them. After a while, several elderly people came out, and the hall was suddenly crowded and noisy. Sha saw muntjacs and wasps on the mountain, and knew that there would be good things today. He had come here to explore several times, and was waiting for dinner. So when the meal started, he immediately stuffed large pieces of muntjac meat into his mouth, even ignoring his wife. Cai Hongming really wanted to beat him up when he saw this. After dinner, Cai Hongming went home to get a bag of Northwest specialties for Sha. Unexpectedly, after he took it, he flipped through it and said in a muffled voice, this bag is not as big as Zengxin's. Even his wife Huang Xiaohe couldn't stand it anymore and pinched him hard on the waist. I'm telling the truth, Sha said stupidly while touching his waist that was pinched by Huang Xiaohe. When did you see me giving Zengxin something? Cai Hongming asked curiously. He remembered that Sha was not there that day. That night I saw him take something home, and I also saw you riding a bike with things to give to people. Each bag was bigger than mine. Unexpectedly, this guy's eyes were quite sharp. Cai Hongming had no choice but to say, I'll get you another bag of salvia milchiahisa later. Are you satisfied now? Yeah. Sha nodded this time to show his satisfaction. Cai Hongming squinted at him and teased him. You looked so stupid before, but I didn't expect you to be smart now that you got married. Of course. He said smugly, in the future, my wife and I will have a bunch of smarter children than the pigs in my house. As soon as he finished speaking, he was slapped hard on the head. He turned around and saw that it was his wife Huang Xiaohe. He asked innocently, wife, why did you hit me? Everyone in the hall laughed when they heard it. Huang Xiaohe was embarrassed and annoyed. Why did she end up with such a fool? Chapter 30, Dark Marsh Dragon King. In the dark water, a figure was floating. Shortly after finishing his meal, Cai Hongming came to the senior Zenwei village to practice Fihikun. After a period of training, he was able to stand steadily in the water and perform a whole set of boxing. He walked forward a little, closer to the huge rocks, submerged by the sea, and could withstand the scouring of the sea. He found that, after practicing boxing in the sea, his body was subjected to the impact of the seawater, and then nourished and treated with the dragon tiger forging jade paste. His body bones seemed to become tighter and harder, and he felt like a whole. This made him more comfortable practicing boxing in the seawater. The pink manta ray that Cai Hongming saw on his uncle's island that time somehow found that he was practicing boxing here, and even came over. These days, he lay on the rocks submerged by the sea every day to curiously watch him practice boxing. Of course, it was also because he was attracted by the water diluted jade toad liquid. The pink manta ray lay on the water stone, watching with big eyes, bubbles coming out of its mouth from time to time, as if it was calling hoo, and no one knew what it was calling. After practicing boxing, Cai Hongming took out some jade toad liquid diluted with water from the jade cauldron, and gave it to the pink manta ray to drink, and then walked back home. After watching him leave, the pink manta ray turned around and swam to the sea behind him. After returning home, Cai Hongming did not rest directly, but dragged his tired body, that was sore from practicing boxing in the sea, to apply the dragon tiger jade paste, and then ran to the courtyard to practice boxing to let the dragon tiger jade paste take effect. After boxing, he took out the jade cauldron and the platinum dragon seal, to absorb the essence of the bright moon, and then sat cross-legged on the bed to practice the Taoist sutra. After a period of practice, he found that the best effective practicing the Taoist sutra was after applying the dragon tiger jade paste and practicing boxing. The gas in his body has gradually grown and hovered in the warm and nourishing danshan. Although he cannot control it, he believes that it should not be far away. The platinum dragon seal floated above the jade cauldron to absorb the essence of the bright moon. As the moonlight fell, the jade tripod benefited from it, constantly transforming the essence of the bright moon into jade-toed liquid and absorbing it into the blessed land in the jade tripod, nourishing the blessed land that had already recovered some of its spirituality. After an unknown amount of time, the platinum dragon seal suddenly emitted a brilliant light, no longer absorbing the moonlight, and turned rapidly, shooting towards Cai Hongming's forehead. In just a moment, Cai Hongming felt a basket of information pouring into his brain, and his entire brain seemed to be about to explode. After a while, this feeling slowly disappeared. Cai Hongming rubbed his slightly aching head and sorted out the inexplicable extra information in his head. After learning about it, he realized that this information was originally about the origin of the platinum dragon seal. According to information records, the platinum dragon seal was originally the seal of the emperor of the Han dynasty who conferred the title of the Dark Lake Dragon King. After being conferred the title, the Dark Lake Dragon King raised clouds and rain, harmonized the four seasons, and benefited the people. In the Tang dynasty, the situation changed. During the Tang dynasty, Tubo rebelled and ravaged the border. Later, it was severely damaged by the Tang army and gradually declined. However, some radical monks in Tubo were unwilling to accept this and did something immoral. They intended to cut off the water veins and turn the northwest and western regions into a vast desert gobi to block the attack of the Tang army. Unfortunately, although they succeeded in the end, Tubo was still defeated by the Tang dynasty and had to negotiate peace. Later, due to internal disputes, it slowly declined. However, the impact has been caused. Because the water veins were cut off, the trees and grasses in the northwest and western regions continued to wither and degenerate in the following hundreds of years, forming a vast yellow sand land. The Dark Marsh Dragon King is a water god. The water veins were cut off, and he was unable to moisten one side, so that the northwest became a desert. He had resisted, but was discovered by radical monks, who set up a large formation and killed him. However, those monks also suffered backlash, because they went against the will of heaven and all died. Although the Dragon King died, the white gold dragon seal that was conferred was preserved, and accidentally obtained by Cai Hongming. The silent film Cai Hongming saw, that time was actually the image of the Tibetan monks cutting off the water veins, and a vast thousand-handed Buddha temple was used to suppress the water veins. The Dragon King was killed because of the Tibetan monks, so when he saw the white gold dragon seal in the Buddhist temple, he crushed the Buddha statue into powder and collected the spiritual energy preserved by the thousand-handed Buddha for his own use. It sounds like a myth, but every drink and every bite is destined by God. Cai Hongming understood what happened before and after. After reading the information, he was surprised that the white gold dragon seal actually had another function. The dragon is a divine creature that can make clouds and rain, can be big or small, can rise or hide, big when it is big, hide when it is small, soar into the sky when it rises, and hide in the waves when it hides. The Dark Marsh Dragon King is a water dragon, specializing in making clouds and rain, and moisturizing all things. The white gold dragon seal is the seal of the Dark Marsh Dragon King, and it also carries the Dark Marsh Dragon King's ability to make clouds and rain. However, the ability of the platinum dragon seal has not been fully restored. It can only make rain in a certain range, and it needs water vapor to make rain. Cai Hongming noticed that the platinum dragon seal seemed to absorb something from the water on the island. It was actually water vapor. With water vapor, the platinum dragon seal can make clouds and rain. But that is a big hole. Now when Cai Hongming practices boxing in the water, the platinum dragon seal will also absorb the water vapor of the seawater. After absorbing it for so long, it can't account for 1/10 of the water vapor stored inside the platinum dragon seal. It can't be used to make rain for a long time. If Cai Hongming really wants to use it to rain, he has to let the platinum dragon seal absorb more water vapor. In a blink of an eye, a night passed. When Cai Hongming woke up in the morning, he washed up and went to the backyard to practice boxing. After practicing, he didn't rush to leave, but walked to the corner of the yard. There was a large stone mortar, which was filled with pebbles the size of ping pong balls. He stood in front of the stone mortar, raised his hands, and used his energy to insert the pebbles. If you want to practice the real flying crane fist, you must pass this level. Flying crane fist originated from white crane fist. Many powerful white crane fist masters grew up inserting stones and sand, but some of them had deformed hands because they started practicing at a young age. After inserting pebbles for a certain period of time, thick calluses will form on the hands, as hard as steel. At that time, the crane fist is considered to have been truly practiced. But for some reason, Cai Hongming's hands did not grow calluses after inserting pebbles for a while, but became whiter and whiter, which made him feel very strange. I don't know if it's because he used the dragon tiger forging jade paste to heal his wounds after practicing. He found that, after applying the dragon tiger forging jade paste at night, even his body turned white. If he was just a little bit like a pretty boy before, now he is a pretty boy. He wondered if he should find a place to bask in the sun next time, otherwise, his face is so white and handsome, and it would be hard for those women who have plastic surgery to survive. After inserting pebbles for 2 or 3 hours, Cai Hongming took out the dragon tiger forging jade paste to heal his wounds, and then went to eat. Now he practices flying crane fist on the seabed at night to train his body, and practices with pebbles during the day. After a while, his boxing skills have improved rapidly, and he has reached the peak of Mingjin. After a while, if the opportunity is right, it will not be difficult for him to enter Enjin. Chapter 31. Aunt. The motorcycle was speeding on the quiet mountain road. The muntjac hunted yesterday weighed about 50 kilograms. Although a lot of dishes were cooked last night, there was still a lot of meat left. The wasp nest, which was more than 1 person tall, had layers upon layers, about 20 to 30 layers, and there were countless wasp pupae inside, which could not be eaten up at all. So Cai Hongming decided to take some to his eldest and youngest aunts to try. His eldest aunt was originally a primary school kindergarten teacher. Later, she left school and opened a kindergarten on her own. Because of its good reputation, the kindergarten has become bigger and bigger. Now the playground area of the kindergarten alone is several acres. Children from the surrounding villages all go to school there, and it is very lively. His uncle is a language teacher. In Cai Hongming's eyes, his uncle's teaching level is really not very good, and he is just making a living. However, his handwriting and paintings are barely acceptable, so in addition to the salary from teaching, his uncle can also make some money from writing and painting. A while ago, his uncle called him to brag that his paintings were sold at a high price, 1,000 per painting. Is just 1,000 a lot? Cai Hongming said he was very upset. Today is Sunday, and both his aunt and uncle are on holiday, otherwise it would be hard to find them. When he arrived at his aunt's house, he saw his cousin Jiang Yuhan sitting in the living room watching TV. As soon as he entered the door, Jiang Yuhan heard footsteps and turned around. Seeing that it was Cai Hongming, he shouted, "Brother, aren't you working in Beijing? Why are you back?" Cai Hongming asked curiously. Now there is often heavy fog in that place, and it is impossible to stay there. I plan to come back to find a job in Ludao. Jiang Yuhan replied. Oh, that's not bad. At least it's close to home. Where's your dad? He's painting in the house. Where's your mom? She went shopping for groceries. Call her and tell her not to buy too much. I brought a lot of things. What good stuff. Jiang Yuhan walked over curiously and took the bag from Cai Hongming's hand. He opened it and suddenly saw a bunch of bee pupae sticking out of a hornet's nest, ready to move. He was immediately scared, and his whole body was covered with hair. Brother, what is this? It's so scary. Cai Hongming looked at him with contempt and said, what's so scary about it? These are bee pupae, a high protein food that is original and natural without hormones or pesticides. You are really ignorant. Take it to the kitchen. There is a leg of deer meat in it. Hongsheng and I went up the mountain yesterday to catch it. It's still very fresh. The big red crabs and black trout in that bag were given by my aunt. There will be something delicious for lunch. Jiang Yuhan happily took the bag went to the kitchen to put it away, came out and asked Cai Hongming, "Brother, you didn't call me when you went up the mountain, otherwise I could go and play. I'm almost moldy staying at home these days. I didn't know you were coming back, but if you want to go out and play, you can call Hongsheng. That guy is not working now, and he is idle every day. If you ask him to go up the mountain, he will definitely agree." After hearing this, Jiang Yuan decided to go hunting in the mountains with Cai Hongsheng tomorrow. He couldn't remember how long it had been since he went to the mountains to play. After talking to his cousin, Cai Hongming went to his uncle's study. In the study, his uncle Jiangping was concentrating on painting a picture of peonies in full bloom. He didn't disturb him and looked at it in his own room. The study, which was originally neatly arranged, was filled with calligraphy and paintings by his uncle. Cai Hongming took a few glances, but didn't see many he liked. His grandfather, his father and his second uncle were orthopedic doctors inherited from their ancestors. They had been writing with brushes since they were young. Their calligraphy was really amazing, flowing like clouds and water, and flying like dragons and phoenixes. But the best one was his grandfather. There is an old saying that goes, "Old ginger is still spicy." His uncle's calligraphy was just a child's in front of the three of them. But his paintings were good. But his uncle's paintings, except for birds and animals, were not pleasing to his eyes. Jiangping knew that Cai Hongming was coming, but he was painting and ignored him. After the painting was finished, he called out, "Hongming, come and see how my painting is." To talk about his uncle's painting skills, we have to start from many years ago. At that time, his house was renovated, and he wanted to buy a painting to hang on the wall to show off his taste. He asked about the price, and found that an ordinary painting cost at least 400 yuan, and there was no cheap one. 400 yuan was a lot of money at that time, and his uncle felt a little distressed about spending it. After returning, he looked at the painting, and felt that it was nothing special, so he started painting himself. During this period, he also went to learn from a master for a while. In addition, he had a good brain, so he could gradually become good at painting. He was a latecomer. Cai Hongming looked at the large painting of flowers and wealth on the table. The flowers were very gorgeous, but he didn't like them. However, the peacock in the painting was very spiritual. His uncle could paint birds, animals, insects, fish, etc. But if he painted complex flowers and trees, it would be a mess. He guessed that the person who bought his painting of flowers and wealth last time was also stupid, otherwise he would not have paid 1,000 yuan. After looking at it, he said honestly, "The peacock is well painted. What about the flowers?" Jiangping asked. "Not very good." Cai Hongming shook his head. "What do you mean not very good? The last time I bought that painting, I spent 1,000 yuan to buy it," Jiangping said with dissatisfaction. After selling the 1,000 yuan painting of flowers and wealth, whenever people said that his paintings were not good, he would bring up the 1,000 yuan painting to make a fuss, which made people speechless to the extreme. Cai Hongming didn't know what to say to his uncle, so he simply changed the subject and said, "Uncle, you can't stay at home every day. You have to go out and collect inspiration from time to time. My uncle bought a yacht. When you have time, we can go fishing together. Last time, he and I went, but we caught more than 40 big bass weighing more than 2 kilograms, and sold them for nearly 20,000 yuan. Boasting. Jiangping obviously didn't believe it. "Why would I lie to you? We went again a few days ago, and caught such a big abalone and such a long cone snail. Now those shells are still at home. Earlier, I also caught a big lobster weighing 5 kilograms. The taste was really delicious." Cai Hongming gestured with a balloon, cone snail, and big lobster. "Why don't you call me when you have such a good thing? Call me when you go next time. I'll go fishing too." Jiangping heard Cai Hongming's words and said with excitement, "Brother, I want to go too. You must call me when you go." Jiang Yuan came to the study room at some point and said hurriedly when he heard Cai Hongming's words, "Aren't you going to Ludao to find a job? It's too early. I plan to look for one after the Chinese New Year. Be sure to call me when you go fishing." I know. Yuhan, is Hongming here?" As the three were talking, Cai Hongming's aunt Cai Yufeng came in from outside while buying groceries and saw his motorcycle and asked, "Yes, He brought a leg of deer meat and beef pupae, as well as bread crabs and black trout given by my aunt. Jiang Yuan turned around and replied, oh. Cai Yufeng walked to the kitchen and opened the big bag of deer meat and beef pupae on the chopping board. As soon as she opened it, she saw densely packed beef pupae sticking their heads out and wriggling. It was so scary that she screamed. Ah! Suddenly hearing a scream from the kitchen, Cai Hongming and others rushed out of the study. Chapter 32. Scary. It's so scary, so scary. Cai Hongming rushed out of the room and saw his aunt sitting on the sofa, patting her chest and gasping for air. He was surprised and asked, Aunt, what's wrong with you? What else? Where did you bring such disgusting things? I was almost scared to death. Cai Yufeng said to Cai Hongming angrily. Seeing his aunt's fuss, Cai Hongming said helplessly, Aunt, those are beef pupae. They are delicious when fried. I dare not fry such disgusting things. You can fry them if you want. I'm scared to death. Cai Yufeng said, while patting her chest and gasping for air. It seems that she was really scared. There was no way. Cai Hongming had to take out a large piece of beef pupae by himself, slowly break it open, and take out the beef pupae inside. The dense beef pupae fell on the plate, squirming and moving, and the timid people would be really scared. Jiang Yuan saw that he had nothing to do, so he continued to watch TV. Cai Hongming felt a little unhappy when he saw this, thinking that he was working while he was watching TV. How could it be proper? So, he went forward and pulled him over to help break the beef pupa. Brother, this thing looks hairy, I'm afraid. Jiang Yuan shouted. Just because you look hairy, I pulled you over to help. We must have the courage to face all hardships. Otherwise, how can you retreat when you encounter difficulties in the workplace in the future? How can you marry a beautiful and rich woman and reach the pinnacle of life? As Cai Hongming spoke, he broke the honeycomb in his hand into 2 halves and handed one half to him. Actually, don't be afraid. Look at this thing. It's white and tender, and it feels smooth to the touch. Just imagine it as a girl's skin as soft and delicate as water, and you won't be afraid. Jiang Yuan looked at him with disdain. He was really a genius to associate this thing with a girl. At noon, Cai Hongming had a meal at his aunt's house and then returned to the village. When he returned to the village, he passed by his second uncle's shop where he treated people's injuries and saw that there were many people inside. After parking his car, he went to the shop to see if he needed help. His second uncle's shop was a large room on the first floor of his house. Because it was adjacent to the main road, he set it aside as a shop. As soon as he entered the shop, Cai Hongming saw his second uncle skillfully massaging people inside, and there were several people waiting outside. One of them was an old man in his 50s, who was an uncle from the same clan as this. So he stepped forward and asked, Uncle, what's wrong with you? My waist is a little sore. Come here and let your second uncle massage it. The old man knew Hongming and replied, Oh, it's a small matter. Uncle, you go over there, I'll help you massage it, so you don't have to wait too long. Cai Hongming said kindly. No, wait for Xian Xiao. The old man quickly refused. Are you kidding? He still wants his old life. In the past, this kid was so enthusiastic to massage people's injuries, but not only did he not massage the people's injuries, but he made them more swollen. He massaged his old bones so much that he couldn't stand it. Seeing that this uncle from the same clan didn't appreciate it, he didn't bother to care and wanted to go back to the house. Suddenly, he saw the Fulaxi coming in from outside with his hand red for some reason. What happened? Cai Hongming asked. No, I accidentally hit it. It's just a hit. Just buy a bottle of wine and push it back. No need to wait here. No, I want my uncle to help push it. The fool said stubbornly. He is so busy and has no time. Come here, I will help you. Cai Hongming stepped forward and took the fool's hand, wanting to see how his injury was and to treat him by the way. But the fool refused to do it, so Cai Hongming pulled him over. Unexpectedly, the fool shouted loudly, as if his parents had died, Help! Zahra, Hongming is going to hit someone. Zahra, help! The fool's house was nearby. Huang Zahra, who was at home, heard his shouting and ran over. As soon as he entered, he saw the fool yelling over there. As soon as the fool saw her, he ran behind her and hid as if he had found a savior. His tall stature hiding behind the short Huang Xiaohua was funny, no matter how you looked at him. The fool carefully hid himself and said to Xiaohua, "Wife, Hongming wants to hit me." Cai Hongming was so angry that he laughed. "I think you really deserve a beating. I was kind enough to help you push your wound, but you said I hit you. It seems that you haven't hit me for a long time. Are you itching for trouble? I won't let you push me. Don't think I don't know. My daddy was pulled to push by you before, and his leg became lame. The cat at my aunt's house also had its tail broken by you. The geese at my third uncle's house and the chickens at Gangsu's house also had their wings and legs broken by you. Don't think I don't know. There were several villagers in the clinic." After hearing what the fool said, they suddenly realized it. No wonder the livestock in the village were always lame and had broken wings for a while. It turned out that the culprit was here. For a while, everyone looked at Cai Hongming strangely. Unexpectedly, the secret he had kept for many years was revealed by the fool. Cai Hongming was furious and shouted, "You fool, you dare to spread rumors. I will beat you to death." As he said that, he clenched his fist and hit the fool. The fool screamed and ran away. Cai Hongming took the opportunity to chase him and ran back home. Otherwise, it would be too embarrassing to stay in the clinic after his childhood embarrassment was exposed. Back home, there was nothing to do. His grandpa ran away again, and no one talked. But he made a cup of tea and turned on the TV to watch. After a while, Cai Zengson came in with 2 girls and a boy. The 2 girls were very tall, at least over 1.9 meters, which made people look up to them. Even though Cai Hongming was 1.8 meters tall, he could only look up to them. Cai Zengson entered the room and saw that only Cai Hongming was there, so he asked, "Hongming, where is grandpa?" He went out. "Is there anything wrong?" Cai Hongming asked while making tea for the guests. Cai Zengson took a sip of tea and said, "My friend has old injuries on his hands and feet. There were a lot of people visiting your second uncle just now, so I wanted to come here to let him take a look." In fact, he felt that the old ginger is still spicy and his friend's old injuries are difficult to treat. I don't know how many doctors he has seen, but it hasn't healed, so he wants to come to Kailang to see him. "Which one?" Cai Hongming asked, looking at the 2 girls and a boy he brought. "It's her. Her name is Wei Qiu. She is from the women's volleyball team. Because of injuries on her hands and feet, she retired." Cai Zengson said, holding the hand of one of the tall girls. Cai Hongming looked at the 2 of them with interest. It seems that they are not ordinary men and women. I don't know why Kai's good friend likes such a tall girl. How can he kiss such a tall girl when he is so tall? With his height of 1.8 meters, shouldn't he kiss on his toes? That's too much effort! Exclamation mark. Cai Hongming thought about his friend and forgot to look away from the girl. The girl blushed when she saw it, and he didn't wake up until Cai Zengson glared at him angrily. This guy will also be a jealous guy in the future. Cai Hongming glanced at his old friend and said to Wei Qiu, "Let me see your injured hand." Wei Qiu looked at Cai Zengson with an inquiring look and only stretched out her hand when she saw him nod. Cai Hongming grabbed her hand and examined it carefully. "PS, I'm embarrassed to keep interrupting the update, and I dare not tell you the reason. But there is no way. I ate something bad when I came back from going out, and I had diarrhea for 3 days in a row. It was only this afternoon that I felt a little better. I'm really sorry. It was supposed to be 120 chapters in 2 months, but now there are only more than 90 chapters, which is more than 20 chapters less. I'm ashamed." Chapter 33 Treatment. "Is it here?" Cai Hongming asked, squeezing Wei Qiu's hand. "Yeah." Wei Qiu nodded. Her hands were thick and rough, not at all the soft feeling of ordinary girls. Speaking of which, female volleyball players are not as good as people say. If you win an Olympic gold medal, it's okay. There are a lot of benefits, and it's not a problem to make $1 million a year. If not, the usual salary is only a few thousand, which is better than ordinary people. If you are lucky after retiring, you can become a coach or a physical education teacher. If you have connections, you can become a policeman, etc. If not, you can only go home and live a lazy life and spend the rest of your life. Wei Qiu is from Nansao. When she was recruited into the women's volleyball team, she was reported by Nanshao newspapers. After retiring due to injury, she became a coach in the province through connections, and thus met Cai Hongming, who was also a coach. Love is born due to fate, and the two are almost at the stage of talking about marriage. When Qiu's metacarpal bone was nearly broken when she fell on the back of her hand while playing volleyball. Although it healed later, she was left with a problem. If she played or held things for too long, she would feel a series of needle-like pains. This kind of injury is common for athletes like them. Some people have become hemiplegic because of playing, which is an occupational disease. Cai Hongming looked at her hand and then checked her foot injury. Wen Qiu's foot was also injured when she fell while playing, but it was more serious than her hand. The fibula of her calf was broken, leaving serious injuries. This was one of the reasons why she had to retire. When he was checking Wen Qiu's bone injury, the fool walked in from outside stupidly. It was probably because he saw that there were many people on Cai Xiao's side and wanted to come to Kailang to treat the injury. When he came in, he saw Cai Hongming checking Wen Qiu, so he walked over and whispered to Cai Hongming, "Hongming will not push injuries. It was he who broke your Helibee's leg before." Although he spoke softly, it echoed in the old house, and everyone in the hall could hear it clearly. Wen Qiu and the two people who came with her, who were being checked by Cai Hongming, looked at Cai Hongming, as if asking, "Is it true?" Cai Hongming was so angry that his head was smoking. This fool was ruining his reputation everywhere. Although he had done these things before, he couldn't tell everyone about it. How embarrassing. He put down his hand that was checking Wen Qiu's calf, stood up and walked around the room, found a stick as long as an egg, and walked towards the fool. When the fool saw the stick in his hand, he was so scared that he wanted to run, but Cai Hongming rushed over and grabbed him. "Put your hand out." Cai Hongming glared and shouted, "Don't." The fool quickly hid his hands behind his back. He was not stupid. "Believe it or not, I will beat you with a stick." Cai Hongming threatened. "I'm not afraid. If you dare to hit me, I will call my wife. My wife said that if anyone dares to bully me, she will fight to the death." The fool said with his chin raised arrogantly. Cai Hongming used a stick to scare and educate the fool when he was a child. Unexpectedly, this guy seemed to have come to his senses after marrying his wife and was no longer afraid. Cai Hongming took a look and picked up the stick to hit him. The fool was scared and shouted, "Wife, Xiaohe wife, come quickly. Hongming is going to hit me again. Wife, come quickly." After Huang Xiaohe was called to Cai Hongming's second uncle's house by the fool, he was stopped by his second aunt to talk. At this time, she heard the fool shouting again, so she walked over, and Cai Hongming's second aunt also went with her. As soon as she entered the door, she saw Cai Hongming holding a stick to hit her full husband, and she couldn't help shaking her head. These two people are also so old, but still as childish as children. Although the fool saw his wife coming to save him, he did not dare to move, fearing that Cai Hongming would hit him on the butt with a stick. It was not that he had not done this before, but he was afraid of being beaten. "Stretch out your hand, or I won't give you any delicious food in the future. Your aunt will send yak meat in a few days. It was originally your share, but if you don't obey, you won't eat it." Cai Hongming threatened the fool again. The fool was really afraid of this. When he heard his words, his heart tightened. He stretched out his hand timidly, but turned his head to look at his wife, who looked very pitiful. Cai Hongming hit him hard on the hand a few times and said, "Don't say bad things about me outside in the future. Do you understand? What I said is true." The fool was about to cry. Cai Hongming was also afraid that if he beat him to tears, this guy would cry endlessly, so he let him go. "Hongming, why are you bullying the fool again?" Cai Hongming's second aunt Lin Shuang came over to defend him. "He was talking nonsense, so I taught him a lesson." "I wasn't talking nonsense, I was telling the truth." The fool defended. "You still dare to say that? I'll beat you up." Cai Hongming glared at the fool with a stick. The fool was so scared that he ran behind his wife and didn't dare to come out. Cai Hongming gave the stick to Huang Xiaohe and said, "This is the stick I used to teach him a lesson. I'm giving it to you. If this guy doesn't listen in the future, use this stick to beat him. My wife won't beat me." The fool said, took the stick from Huang's eye and hugged it tightly in his arms, thinking that he had to find a place to hide it well, so that his wife wouldn't find it, and use it to beat him, so he ran out. Huang's eye followed him. Her second aunt went to the backyard. Although Cai Lang was the one who took care of the flowers, plants, and vegetables in the backyard of the old house, she usually came to help take care of them. After all, Cai Lang was old. Seeing that everyone had left, Cai Hongming asked Cai Zengxin and the others to wait in the house for a while. He took Wei Qiuyu to his second uncle's place to take an x-ray to see what happened to her bone injuries on her hands and feet. Their family is a family of traditional Chinese medicine bone correction, and they have all the necessary medical equipment. After all, sometimes judgments based on experience may not be accurate, and some scientific and technological means are needed to assist. After taking the x-ray and looking at it, Cai Hongming found that Wei Qiuyu's bone injuries had basically healed. The reason for the pain was that the bones between the fractures did not heal perfectly, and there were also problems with the ligaments and tendons at the joints. This state will take a long time to get better, and sometimes there will be sequelae. But fortunately, he refined the dragon tiger forging jade paste, which is specially used to treat these sequelae, and is very useful. He took it out to help apply it on Wei Qiuyu's hands. Let her use it first. Let her know the situation after applying the dragon tiger forging jade paste, and go home to apply the rest by herself. It is estimated that it will be healed after a while. Wait a while, your hands will be itchy, but it doesn't matter. This is a normal reaction to the effect of the medicine. Just exercise the joints of your hands as you did when you played basketball before, until you don't itch. Cai Hongming instructed Wei Qiuyu after applying the medicine. Yeah. Wei Qiuyu nodded. After a while, the effect of the medicine took effect. She really felt itchy where she applied the plaster, and she quickly exercised according to Cai Hongming's instructions. Cai Hongming took a look and ignored her. Seeing that Wei Qiuyu was fine, Cai Zengxin introduced the other two to her. This is Qiuyu's former teammate Yang Shan, and this is her husband Ouyuzu, a famous designer in the province. This time they came here to see what the land of our hot spring villa is like, so that we can go back and design the blueprints. Cai Hongming shook hands with the two, and then talked to Ouyuzu about some ideas for the hot spring villa. After chatting for a while, the effect of the plaster on Wei Qiuyu's hand was almost gone. Cai Hongming discussed with Cai Zengxin and took them to the place where the hot spring villa was to be built, so that the designer could check the terrain and draw the blueprints. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 34, Stonefish and 9 Segmented Shrimp, Part 1. Cai Hongming and Cai Zengxin took Ouyuzu and others to the land they bought for the hot spring villa, and also visited the cave where the hot spring was hidden. When they came out, Ouyuzu had a basic draft in his mind. On the way back, he lowered his head and wrote and drew in his notebook. I don't know what he was doing. The two tall retired women's volleyball girls were arm in arm, whispering, Hongming, is your uncle free tomorrow? Can he drive the yacht to take us to the island to fish? Cai Zengxin asked Cai Hongming. I don't know. I'll call and ask. After Cai Hongming finished speaking, he called his uncle. Uncle, are you going to the island to fish tomorrow? I was just about to tell you about this. We are going tomorrow. Come over early. I bought some things and you can help me get them. Okay. My eldest uncle, Yuhan, and my 4 friends also want to go. Is that okay? Of course. It's better with more people. It's more lively. Remember to come over early to help get things. Got it. I'll go early tomorrow morning. Then hang up. Oh. After the call, Cai Hongming said to Cai Zengxin, you are lucky. My uncle is going there tomorrow. Really? That's perfect. Cai Zengxin said happily. It's not that he wants to go fishing. The main purpose is to take Ouyuzu and the others to play. You can't just drink tea and chat at home when you come here. You have to go out for a walk. There is nothing fun in the nearby mountains. It just so happens that Cai Hongming's uncle has a yacht to go fishing, so he takes them to have some fun. Why don't we buy an oven and bring some vegetables and fruits and bake something on the island for lunch tomorrow so we don't have to come back? Cai Hongming suggested. You're right, I'll go to town and buy it right away. I'll take Kiwai and the others for a walk, then I'll leave first. Okay. The two separated in front of the old house. After returning home, Cai Hongming called his uncle again and told him that he was going to the island to fish tomorrow. It was a pity that he was not free, but Jiang Yuhan was very happy when he knew about it. After the call, he went to the backyard to get a hoe and walked up the mountain because it was still early. He planned to dig 2 tea trees from the abandoned tea forest on the mountain and plant them in the blessed land in the jade tripod. After the new tea grows, he can pick it himself to make tea, so as not to drink the messy tea outside all the time. He still remembers that a pound of good tea was only 20 or 30 yuan in the early 2000s. Now, tea that is less than 300 or 400 yuan is simply not drinkable, and it doesn't taste as good as before. The more he drank, the less he wanted to drink, so he wanted to plant a few tea trees himself and pick and fry them when he wanted to drink. The raw tea tastes good when it is picked, fried, and brewed. The mountain wind whistled, and the leaves on the ground were blown all over the sky. After a while, Cai Hongming came to the tea forest, found the 2 largest tea trees, dug them out, and planted them in the cave paradise in the jade tripod. After digging 2 trees, he was a little greedy and felt that it was not enough, so he dug a few more trees to make up 9. He was also greedy and sweated profusely in the end, and he was about to faint. He quickly took out the water-diluted jade toad liquid and drank it. After a rest, he felt relieved. Then, he went to dig some thatch with soil and put it in the cave paradise in the jade tripod, intending to take it to the northwest to plant. In fact, he also wanted to dig more trees from his hometown to plant in the northwest, especially longan, lychee and other fruit trees, but unfortunately the climate there was not suitable for this side, and they could not survive after planting, so he had to give up. The next day, Cai Hongming got up early and asked Cai Zengxin to take his friends to the beach first. He rode his motorcycle to his uncle's house. When he arrived at his uncle Lukishan's house, he saw that he had already gotten up and parked his seafood truck at the door, moving things onto it. Lukishan saw him coming and quickly asked him to help. Uncle, why did you bring so many things to the island? Cai Hongming was working hard to move things, and he saw a lot of things, including pots and pans, grills, fishing rods, and diving suits, and he couldn't help asking. More and more people go to the islands to fish now, and some don't even go home at noon. I want to prepare some utensils and grills, and put them there, so that they can do it themselves. Don't people like this stuff now? The diving suits are for rent. The last time they saw you catch so many things from the sea, those people were jealous and planned to go down to find them. That's much more exciting than fishing. I will prepare some to rent to them and make some money. If I were not in poor health, I would like to go in the water to see if there are any abalone or lobsters. Come on, with your body, you still want to go in the water. Be careful not to float away. Cai Hongming glanced at his uncle's fat body and said, "You still understand me?" Lukishan laughed and patted Cai Hongming on the shoulder. After moving the things, Cai Hongming parked the car at his uncle's house and planned to take his ride. Unexpectedly, his aunt also got in and asked in surprise, "Aunt, are you going fishing too?" "Why, I can't go." Cai Yuhan raised her eyebrows. No, I haven't seen you go before." Cai Hongming waved his hand quickly. "This aunt has a bad temper and can't be offended. Your aunt hasn't been to the island yet. Let's go and have a look today. We won't come back at noon and eat on the island," Lukishan said, driving to the yacht. I didn't expect my uncle to have the same idea. No wonder he brought so many things. He thought the same as them. "Aunt, where is Cai Hong?" Cai Hongming asked his aunt. "She's already on the yacht." It turned out that people who wanted to go sea fishing came early in the morning, including the 2 girls who came last time, and Cai Hong went with them. Lukishan was late because he had to move things. When he arrived at the beach, Cai Hongming saw that the yacht was full of people, and his younger brother Cai Hongsheng was also in it. It was really strange. Cai Hongming remembered that he seemed to go back to the factory to handle the resignation procedures these days. Why did he come back? After asking on the boat, he found out that he heard that his uncle was going to take people to the island to fish yesterday, so he rushed back overnight. With so many people helping, Lukashin moved all the things he brought from home onto the boat in a short time, then untied the rope and drove the yacht out to sail. The weather was good today, with clear skies and no wind or waves. Seagulls spread their wings and danced and circled on the seashore. The girls breathed the air of the sea and the wind, their black hair flying, and a breath of youth came to their faces. Ah, dolphins. Suddenly, a girl pointed at the sea and screamed. Looking closely, I saw several white dolphins swimming in the sea, jumping out of the sea from time to time to play and have fun. They seemed to hear the girls cheering, and after playing by the yacht for a while, they swam away. The girl looked at it and took a photo with her mobile phone with regret. At this moment, a pink figure suddenly rushed out of the sea. It was a pink manta ray. This guy flapped his fleshy wings and flew in the air for a while before falling back into the water. Then he swam beside the yacht, floating up and down from time to time, playing various postures on the sea, and looked very happy. Chapter 35, Punching the Great Shark of the East China Sea, Part 2. Many young men and women came to the fishing group today. In addition to Cai Hongming and his group, the two girls who came last time also brought a few other women. A group of girls gathered together, chirping like countless little hens, making a lot of noise. When the yacht docked, a group of girls ran to the plank road where the yacht was docked, laughing all the way, and no one knew what they were laughing about. The middle-aged sea fishing veterans who followed behind shook their heads. When they arrived at the island, some fished and some played, with clear division of labor. Some people were moved by seeing Cai Hongming fish out a lot of things from the sea last time, so this time they rented a diving suit and planned to go down to fish out some treasures and find another excitement. The weather was a bit cold today, so Cai Hongming didn't want to go down, so he also took a fishing rod and found a place where there might be fish to hook and started fishing. Speaking of fishing, it does require a little skill and luck, but sometimes luck is far greater than skill. I remember that once, when I went out to play, Cai Hongming saw someone fishing on the pier, so he went to watch. It was low tide at that time, and the current was turbulent. Theoretically, there should be no fish to take the bait. Unexpectedly, the fisherman cast the hook and immediately caught a fish. It can be said that he caught a fish as soon as he cast it. It was amazing. Cai Hongming still can't forget it because of the deep impression. Thinking about it now, he still feels that the man is very arrogant. He doesn't know how he did it. He probably found a fish nest, but the current was so fast at low tide and there was a strange fish nest. He couldn't figure it out. To him, that incident is still a mystery. The bait on Cai Hongming's hook was provided by his uncle, who said that any fish could be caught, but he didn't know whether it was true or not. But today he seemed to be very lucky. He just sat for a while and a fish was caught. When the boy dived, he suddenly lifted the fishing rod. Hey, there was a 30cm golden silk fish hanging on it. Jinsei Menga's mudfish, also known as basket fish, stinky belly, elephant fish, etc. It is a flat fish with not much meat. The spines on its back are very sharp. If you are not careful when killing the fish, you will be pricked. Fortunately, there are no thin spines on the fish, so it tastes good. Cai Hongming carefully took the fish off the hook and put it into the net bag, then put on the bait and continued fishing. Taking advantage of the free time, he turned his head and saw that the two terrifyingly tall female volleyball girls had been mixed with her cousin Cai Hong and other girls. They were talking and laughing while picking up shells on the beach. They screamed non-stop when they saw a silly hermit crab. It was really speechless. Perhaps this is the flying youth. Somehow, perhaps after a stroll in society and seeing too many worldly affairs, his heart has become old. When he sees someone younger than himself, he always treats him as a child. I don't know if this mentality is right. After looking at it for a while, he turned his head to look elsewhere and saw Cai Zengxin, Hongsheng, and Ouyuzu fishing with fishing rods not far away. Hongsheng wanted to play with those girls, but they didn't agree, so he had to fish here obediently. Hey, Just as he was watching, the boy on the water surface moved again, and he quickly grabbed the fishing rod and concentrated on fishing. The boy nodded a few times on the water surface like a wilted chicken, and then suddenly disappeared underwater. Cai Hongming quickly pulled up the fishing rod. It's a big yellow croaker. The meat of a big yellow croaker is thicker, not as thin as a golden silk croaker, but the taste is a little worse than that of a golden silk croaker. Cai Hongming took the fish and put it in the net bag. Just as he was about to bait it, he suddenly saw Cai Zengson and the others, and those sea fishing veterans also caught yellow croakers. He couldn't help but wonder, could it be that a school of fish is coming? Suddenly, he saw yellow croakers jumping up from the sea and swimming quickly to the side. Oh my, it's really a school of fish coming. Now he didn't care about fishing. He quickly took off his pants, picked up a large scoop net, and jumped into the water, scooping up fish frantically in the water. Fishing is not as fast as catching fish, but will any fish be stupid enough to let him catch them? Unexpectedly, there really are some. After fishing for a while, he felt that the net was full. When he lifted it up, he saw many big yellow croakers jumping around in it. He quickly put it on the shore and continued to fish in the sea. After a few catchings, the school of fish left. Cai Hongming felt depressed and wanted to go ashore. Suddenly, he saw a small shark swimming in the water. The small shark was quite big. He looked at it and quickly lifted the net to catch it when the time was right. The shark was also stupid and was caught in the net in an instant. It was quite fat, at least more than 7 or 8 kilograms, which was his biggest harvest today. He couldn't help but smile with pride. Not long after he was proud, he saw a black shadow in the distance rushing towards this side. As it got closer, he realized that the black shadow seemed to be a fish fin. Suddenly, he remembered that it seemed to be a shark's dorsal fin. Damn, I'm fishing in my pants. Don't let that guy swim over and bite me. Thinking about it, he hurried to the shore. The people fishing nearby saw the shark coming and quickly put away their fishing rods. They can't catch this big thing. Maybe after it is hooked, it will drag the fishing rod down. The people diving and fishing on the yacht seemed to have noticed the situation, and they all got out of the water and climbed onto the yacht to rest. It seems that a group of sharks came, probably following the big yellow croaker. After swimming here for a while, they continued to follow the group of yellow croakers. Seeing the sharks leave, Cai Hongming wanted to continue fishing, but found a triangular fin floating on the sea, and there was still a shark. That guy didn't seem to want to leave, and he was actually swimming in circles in the sea. How can this be allowed? Can people still fish? Cai Hongming found a stone, aimed at the dorsal fin of the shark exposed above the sea, and threw it over, hitting the target. I don't know if that guy was hurt by the hit, and he disappeared into the sea. Seeing that guy ran away, Cai Hongming sat back in his fishing position and wanted to continue fishing, but suddenly found a water wave in the distance rushing towards him quickly. Thinking that it was not good, he turned around and ran. A shark suddenly jumped out of the water, opened its bloody mouth and bit him from behind. Cai Hongming ran while looking at the situation behind him. When he saw the shark biting, he quickly rolled to the side and barely avoided the shark's attack. Seeing that it didn't bite anyone, the shark twisted its body and turned back into the water. Cai Hongming, who was almost scared to death, was not willing to let him go. He ran over and punched the shark. The shark felt pain and opened its mouth to bite. Cai Hongming dodged the attack, stepped on the ground, jumped onto the shark's back, clamped the shark's body tightly, and raised his fist to hit the shark's head hard. The shark shook its head and tail in pain and struggled, but Cai Hongming sat firmly on it, clamped it tightly, and refused to get down. He has been practicing day and night recently, and his strength has improved, and his power is amazing. Punching down one after another, the shark's flesh and blood flew everywhere. Once, twice, 3 times, the hard bones of the shark's head could not withstand the heavy blows of his fists and gradually cracked. Cai Hongming punched hard again, and the skull burst instantly. His fist went straight into the shark's head, hitting it and making the brain matter blurry and splattering everywhere, even spraying himself in the face. Chapter 36, Stonerfish and 9-Segmented Shrimp, Part 2. Cai Hongming jumped off the shark's back, still not satisfied with the dead shark, and kicked it hard a few times. He was so scared that his heart was beating fast. He didn't look closely just now, but now he looked carefully and found that the shark was very big, at least 3 meters long. What to do with such a big guy? Eat it. Shark meat is not delicious. When he was worried, the people around him surrounded him. He beat the shark just now, which was thrilling, but it was very short. When everyone reacted, the shark had been killed by him. Brother, you are so good. Cai Hongming admired him so much that her eyes were almost full of stars, and so were the women next to her. Cai Hongming blushed a little when he heard it. But before he could reply, Cai Hongming turned around and chatted with her group of female companions about the shark, as if she had killed the shark, and felt very honored. Brother, you are too cruel. You punched such a big hole in someone's head. Cai Hongming looked at the big hole in the shark's head and screamed. Cai Hongming was so upset that he slapped him. People on the island stopped fishing and ran over to watch the shark and take pictures. When they saw the big hole on the shark's head, they were all shocked by its strength. Is this still a human? At this time, Kishan came over and wiped him with a towel. Uncle, what do you think we should do with this shark? Cai Hongming asked Kishan, while wiping the milky white shark brain on his face. It depends on whether you want to keep it for yourself or sell it. Is this shark valuable? Fresh ones like this are okay, but if they are frozen, they are not valuable. After all, the taste of live fish is different from that of dead fish. Do you want to sell it? If you want to sell it, I will help you contact people. Cai Hongming thought about it and asked his uncle to help contact buyers. Speaking of which, apart from the fins, no one likes to eat other parts of the shark. Fins are shark fins, and fresh fins are much better cooked than dried shark fins. Whether it is boiled in soup, pan-fried or steamed, the taste is very wonderful. Because fresh fins are like jelly after being cooked, they are soft and delicious, and melt in your mouth. In addition to the fins, the soft part of the shark's belly is also delicious, but the rest is not so good. However, some people like to use shark meat to make sashimi. Fresh fish meat tastes good for sashimi and hot pot, but the taste of dead fish is inferior, and not delicious at all. The reason why Cai Hongming wanted to sell the shark was not for the money, but mainly because he couldn't finish it. Besides, he just caught a small shark, which weighed 7 or 8 pounds, and it was enough to take it home. At this time, he remembered the pile of fish he had caught, and hurried over, but found that some of the fish had been swept away by the shark's struggle just now, leaving only a few, but the small shark was still there. He hurriedly went to the house to get a big bucket, scoop some seawater, and put the fish in. Cai Hongming didn't want to go into the water today, but his face and body were sprayed with a lot of shark brains, and he couldn't help but wash it. So he took off his clothes and swam into the sea. As soon as he got into the water, he saw a pink manta ray swimming over with a group of fish. Cai Hongming raised his eyebrows and thought to himself, could it be that the fish were driven over by this guy? If so, this guy is really amazing. When the pink manta ray saw him, it immediately swam over and circled around him. Cai Hongming had fed it with the water diluted jade toad liquid and developed feelings for him. He treated him like a family member and became more and more like a pet. After drinking the water diluted jade toad liquid, the pink manta ray grew up a little, and even its intelligence improved a lot. It could understand some of Cai Hongming's actions and language. Cai Hongming touched the little guy's head and sat on its back. Not only did the pink manta ray not resist, but it happily took him around to swim. Cai Hongming instructed it to swim to the side on his back. There were several people diving here, and a lot of sea urchins, shells, etc. were caught. He didn't even have to think about picking up things here. It was better to go to the other side. After a while, the pink manta ray brought him to a place with many reefs and seaweeds. This kind of place is the favorite place for fish, shrimp and shellfish, and he should be able to catch a lot of things. Seeing that the place was good, Cai Hongming got off the back of the pink manta ray. As soon as he stepped on the sand and mud in the sea, he saw several 9-segment shrimps jumping out of the sand and mud and swimming away. One of them was so scared that it didn't know where to go, and it actually brushed past his thigh and pointed at his little brother and swam forward. Snap, this is too much. He stretched out his hand and grabbed the wretched 9-segment shrimp in front of him. He found that this 9-segment shrimp was quite big, about 20 centimeters long. The meat of the 9-segment shrimp is refreshing and elastic, and the taste is better than lobster. It is one of Cai Hongming's favorite seafood. However, this thing is not easy to catch, because during the day, the 9-segment shrimp usually lurks in the sand and mud 3 centimeters below, and only comes out to look for food at night. It is generally difficult to see it swimming, let alone catch it. Cai Hongming didn't expect that there would be wild 9-segment shrimps here. Of course he would not let them go, but how to catch them? After thinking about it, he swam back to the shore, took a small mesh dredging net, and then slowly dredged in small areas of the sand and mud on the seabed. Don't say it, his stupid method is really effective. The 9-segment shrimps hiding in the sand and mud were frightened and jumped out of the sand and mud one after another. Some fell into the dredging net, and some were caught by him. However, some still ran away. After all, he only had one hand. There were a lot of seaweeds in this place, which was probably the main feeding ground for 9-segment shrimps, hiding many 9-segment shrimps. After a while, Cai Hongming caught more than 30 of them. Some of them were large 9-segment shrimps more than 30 centimeters long. He grabbed a few in his hand, and they were at least more than half a catty. The ones he had eaten before were about 20 centimeters long. He had never seen such a big 9-segment shrimp before. He had to taste what such a big shrimp tasted like when he went back at night. He caught some 9-segment shrimps and felt that they were enough for several meals, so he stopped catching them and went to pick some kelp to cook soup. This kind of wild kelp is much tastier than the farmed ones on the market. Cai Hongming felt that he had a good harvest today, so he wanted to go back. When he turned around, he suddenly saw a reef next to him light up, which scared him. It's not that he is timid, it's just too weird. The stone just moved. Snap, I was just scared by the shark. Will there be any sequel? Cai Hongming thought, and picked up the fishing net to poke the moving stone. Suddenly, the stone moved and opened its eyes. At this time, Cai Hongming saw clearly that this thing was not a stone at all, but a strange looking stonefish. Fortunately, I didn't move around just now, otherwise I would be finished. The scientific name of stonefish is rose poison, because it has thorns on its body like a rose, and it is poisonous, so it is named. It has several poisonous fins on its back, and there are poison glands under the fins. Each poison gland leads directly to the poison sac, which contains highly toxic venom. When a person is stung by the poisonous fin, the poison sac is squeezed, and venom is ejected into the human body along the poison gland and fin. The person who is stung immediately suffers terribly. At first, the pain is unbearable, the wound swells, and then dizziness, cramps, shock, and unconsciousness. If no rescue is provided, the person will die. Very scary. In fact, the poisonous fins of stonefish are mainly used to defend against enemies, not to hurt people. If you don't touch it, you will be fine. This thing will not actively attack people. It is a very docile fish. Although it is a bit ugly, I'm ugly, but I'm gentle is its true portrayal. Chapter 37 Beach BBQ. Cai Hongming had seen and knew about stonefish, but he had never eaten it. So he caught one and wanted to taste what it tasted like. Stonefish like to hide in the seabed or under the reefs, motionless, disguising itself as an inconspicuous stone so that people can't find it. Its hunting method is also very interesting. It often waits for food to come in a way of waiting, but if someone steps on it, its hard spines will shoot deadly venom. Although stonefish is poisonous, its meat is tender and has no fine thorns. It has high nutritional value. Medical books record that it has the effects of warming and replenishing deficiency, promoting body fluid, and moistening the lungs. In the past, stonefish was sold in coastal areas, especially in hotels in Guangdong. Now it is gradually developing inland, and more places are selling stonefish. More people eat it, but few people raise stonefish, so the price of stonefish has risen. In the coastal areas, a stonefish costs more than 100 yuan per catty, but in the inland areas it is about 200 yuan, and the bigger it is, the more expensive it is. Some people always get stung by the stinger when killing stonefish. They think that killing stonefish is like scraping off the scales like killing ordinary fish. In fact, it is not like that. The stunner fish is so ugly on the outside, not only because of its own reasons, but also because of some bacteria and debris parasitizing on the outside of its body. It is disgusting to scrape off the scales and steam or boil it. Killing stunner fish is very simple. Just beat it to death with a knife, remove the internal organs, remove the head and skin, and leave only the tender and smooth fish meat, because the only good thing about stunner fish is the meat, and the rest is not a good thing at all. In this way, you don't have to worry about being stung by the stinger. Cai Hongming was only focused on catching shrimps before, so he didn't look around carefully. Now he looked carefully and found that there were many fish in this area, but most of them were hidden in the sand, mud, reefs and seaweed, and it was difficult to find. He caught enough fish today and didn't want to kill them all, so he swam back to the shore. Nowadays, people don't catch big fish and let small fish go like the old generation for money, but use fine nets to catch all the fish in the sea. They think that if they don't catch fish, others will. They think that the fish resources in the sea will never dry up, so they act recklessly. If one day they go out to sea and cast their nets and they can't even catch a shrimp, what will they do? Humans are profit-seeking animals. In the past such things could be restrained by morality, but in today's society, morality is corrupt, and it is obviously impossible to restrain these people with so-called morality. This requires the government to enact laws and prohibit the use of small nets for fishing, prohibiting blasting fish, etc. I believe that after the ban, there will be space for marine creatures to reproduce and thrive, and there will be a cycle, so that fish resources will not dry up. This is one aspect, and on the other hand, the government must strengthen patrols in its own waters and strictly prohibit foreign fishing boats from fishing in its own seas. Otherwise, if you ban fishing, others will fish in your seas, which will be funny. But then again, if we have to rely on the government's supervision department to do things, I guess we still have to practice to make this life longer. Back to the shore, it was almost noon. A group of girls knew that they had to solve lunch on the island, so they all brought food with them. When Cai Hongming came ashore, he saw them fiddling with the grill, putting charcoal on the fire, and some were washing vegetables. Hong Sheng saw this and went forward to help, but was sent by the girls to kill fish. He thought it was too lonely to kill fish alone, so he pulled Zengson and Oyuzu with him. The three of them were killing fish over there, and two tall girls from the women's volleyball team saw it and went over with bamboo sticks and other things to help skewer the grilled fish. Their hands and feet were quite skillful, and it seemed that they had grilled a lot. Cai Hongming came up and also contributed a dozen prawns to share with everyone. However, they were all about 20 centimeters long, and the big ones were hidden in the paradise in the jade tripod. Even so, it was enviable. Those divers kept asking him where he caught them, and Cai Hongming pointed to a place at random. He didn't want these people to pass by. He hadn't caught enough fish yet. Besides, with the character of these people who catch everything like locusts passing through, would there be a chef for him if they went? He wasn't that stupid. It seems that I have to tell my uncle tonight to let those divers have some self-respect and not catch too many things. Otherwise, what will they catch after the fish are extinct? It is worth mentioning that when his uncle bought the island, he found that there was a small spring on the island. Although there was not much spring water, it was enough. Otherwise, it would take a lot of energy to transport water from home every time. A bunch of people were busy preparing for the barbecue. Cai Hongming was not idle either. He killed the shark weighing 7 or 8 kilograms and cut half of it for barbecue. While he was busy, he suddenly heard the sound of a speedboat coming from the sea. He turned around and saw his uncle running to the plank road to greet him. Only then did he know that the shark buyer contacted by his uncle had arrived. I don't know which hotel he is from. He has such a large capital that he actually drove a speedboat to buy fish. He is really a rich man. The hotel purchasing staff who came here are really rich. After he had the shark brought on board the yacht, he went around the island again. When he saw the yellow croaker in his bucket and the live fish caught by the sea anglers, he persuaded them to sell the fish to him. They had no choice but to give him some. The hotel purchasing staff left very satisfied after a fruitful trip. The man was generous. He gave Cai Hongming more than 10,000 yuan for the big shark and some big yellow croakers, and the sea anglers caught hundreds or thousands of fish. Hongsheng's eyes widened when he saw this, and he wondered if he should also go to the sea to catch something. Even if it wasn't much, it was better than working hard in a factory. He never thought about whether he had the ability of Cai Hongming. The things to be grilled were prepared, the charcoal fire was lit, and suddenly, fireworks shot up from several grills. Cai Hongming had already cut the shrimp he wanted to eat the most into 2 halves, and put them on the grill, then put the sauce made with salt and garlic paste on the cut shrimp, letting the garlic paste slowly penetrate the shrimp meat as the charcoal fire roasted. The shrimp cooked very quickly, and soon it was roasted red, and the smell of shrimp meat and garlic paste hit his nose. Cai Hongming poked it with a bamboo stick, and felt that it was almost cooked, so he took it, and put it on the plate next to him, then picked it up with a bamboo stick, ready to try what it tasted like, but suddenly heard a gurgling sound from the side. Turning around, he found Hongsheng standing next to him, staring at his grilled shrimp. "Brother, how does it taste?" Hongsheng asked after swallowing his saliva. "How do you know, if you haven't eaten it yet?" Cai Hongming glared at him. "If you want to eat it, grill it yourself. How can my grilling compare to yours, brother?" Hongsheng said flatteringly, staring at the shrimp in his hand. With this look, Cai Hongming couldn't eat it. Simply put down the bamboo sticks and push the grilled prawns to him. "You can eat it first." When Cai Hongsheng heard this, he immediately took the plate of grilled prawns with joy and ran to the girl to show off. Cai Hongming shook his head and didn't care. He picked up another prawn and grilled it. P.S. I recommend Nan's Hao Xi Lang's completed work carrying the Ruai fan with you. Chapter 38. The shrimp is so big. Brother, I want to eat grilled shrimps too. Lu Kai Hong snatched half of the grilled shrimps from Hong En, who was showing off grilled shrimps. She felt unsatisfied and came to Cai Hongming to say it. What could Cai Hongming say? He put the grilled 9-segment shrimps on the plate and handed them over with a tactful look. Lu Kai Hong took the grilled shrimps and ran over to show off to the group of girls. Seeing that the girls were jealous and wanted to eat grilled shrimps, they urged her to tell Cai Hongming. What could Cai Hongming say? He grilled all the shrimps here, but those girls also brought 9-segment shrimps from them. So Cai Hongming became a griller who specialized in grilling 9-segment shrimps. A girl took the grilled 9-segment shrimps to show off to her father. After eating them, her father praised them highly and took the 9-segment shrimps to ask Cai Hongming to help grill them. What could Cai Hongming say? Just keep grilling. The grilled shrimps were ready very quickly. When one grilled shrimp was ready, a bunch of people who were waiting came to grab it. At the end, a person who came to the sea for fishing asked Cai Hongming to grill the shrimps, but they were gone. He shouted loudly, "Where are my shrimps? Who took them?" Who would answer him? Once he ate them, they were his. He could only blame himself for his bad luck. After grilling the shrimps for everyone, Cai Hongming realized that the 9-segment shrimps were gone, but he hadn't eaten them yet. What should he do? He looked around and found that the people around him were either busy grilling or eating. He secretly took out a 9-segment shrimp from the cave paradise in the jade tripod, quickly cut it, and grilled it on the grill. The hot charcoal fire soon grilled the huge 9-segment shrimp red, and the garlic paste on the sliced shrimp meat slowly seeped into the shrimp meat and slowly dripped on the red hot charcoal with the shrimp oil, making a hissing sound. It smelled intoxicating. Before he ate it, Cai Hongming's mouth was full of saliva. He picked up the grilled 9-segment shrimp with a fork and put it on the plate. He cut it into pieces with a knife and ate it with bamboo sticks. The elastic and delicious shrimp meat with the taste of garlic has a fresh and sweet taste that transcends nature. It is really amazing. Cai Hongming couldn't help but close his eyes and feel the wonderful feeling that the shrimp meat in his mouth brought to his taste buds. Wow, what a big shrimp. Suddenly hearing the shout, Cai Hongming opened his eyes and saw that Cai Hongming had come to the side without knowing when, staring at the big 9-segment shrimp on his plate with saliva and shining eyes. "Brother, I want to eat it too." Before he finished speaking, he took a bamboo stick and stuck it into the big 9-segment shrimp that was roasted red and fragrant. Cai Hongming quickly picked up the plate and left, regardless of him shouting behind him. Walking to the beach and sitting on a rock, Cai Hongming continued to taste the delicious 9-segment shrimp. It was a pity that there was no wine. If there was some wine to go with the shrimp meat, it would be even better. Why are you eating alone here? A voice sounded in his ear. Cai Hongming knew it was Cai Zengson without turning around. He turned around and glared. What do you mean by eating alone? Didn't you see how hard I worked just now? I didn't see it. I just know that you have kept all the delicious food in your hands since you were a child. Cai Zengson glanced at him and said lightly. Who said that? Am I that kind of person? Cai Hongming said a little guilty. He was obviously that kind of person. Cai Zengson made a huh sound and didn't say anything. He picked up the bamboo stick in his hand and ate a large piece of shrimp meat on the plate. Cai Hongming felt a little distressed when he saw it because the shrimp meat was the largest piece on the plate. He felt that at this speed, he would definitely not be able to compete with him. He didn't care about tasting it. He quickly swallowed the shrimp meat in his mouth and quickly ate the 9-section shrimp meat on the plate to prevent it from being eaten up by Cai Zengson. After a while, the plate of 9-section shrimp meat was eaten up by the two of them. But this amount of food was obviously not enough to fill Cai Hongming's stomach, so he continued to grill fish. The kind sister who had eaten the grilled shrimp brought him the fish she had grilled carefully. Regardless of how the fish tasted, the heart was indeed sincere. Others brought him a fruit platter. The experienced fishermen were nice people and brought him a bottle of wine, which was homemade. Homemade wine is good and tastes sweet. If it were the sour wine sold, he would have declined it. The lunch was very filling. The girls, who were full, danced like crazy on the beach. Let's not talk about how they danced, but the beauty of their youth was enviable. After playing for another afternoon, everyone returned home with a lot of harvest and the sunset. In the evening, when eating porridge at home, Cai Hongming did not cook the stone fish he brought back into soup. Instead, he peeled the skin, took out the meat, removed the fish bones, and then made it into a heart shape, mixed it with egg paste and cornstarch, and fried it in a pan. When it was crispy and golden, he took it out, and then took the juice of the local specialty bagua orange, put it into the pot, added sweet and sour starch to thicken it, and made a sweet and sour sauce to pour on the fried stone fish. This dish is shaped like a heart and tastes crispy with a sweet and sour taste. It is very delicious. It's a pity that I eat it myself. If I make it for a loving girl, such a thoughtful dish should be enough to capture the sentimental heart of the girl. After making the stonefish, Cai Hongming took out a few 9-segment shrimps. These 9-segment shrimps are about 30 centimeters long and very large. He cut the big 9-segment shrimp into 4 pieces, spread them on the vermicelli, made of sweet potato flour, and then poured the golden and silver garlic paste made of fried golden garlic paste and unfried garlic paste on it, and then put it in the pot to steam. After steaming, the 9-segment shrimps were red and their tails were raised, which was very beautiful. Brother, didn't you say that there were no 9-segment shrimps on the island? Cai Hongming asked curiously when he saw him serving the steamed vermicelli with 9-segment shrimps. You are stupid. There are so many people on the island. No matter how many shrimps there are, they can be eaten up. We have to save some to eat at home. Oh, brother, where did you catch the shrimps? Tell me, I will catch them next time. Do you want to go too? Cai Hongming said unhappily. With your dog paddle posture, you can't catch shrimps when you go into the sea, and you may be caught by shrimps. Speaking of this, Cai Hongming was a little discouraged. From childhood to adulthood, he could not learn to swim, no matter how hard he tried, and he always paddled in that dog paddle posture. But his brother was different. He learned everything quickly. He often held his breath and went into the water to catch fish and dig catfish while he could only watch from above. Fortunately, he always had a share of the delicious food. After thinking for a while, Cai Hongming said, brother, I can wear a diving suit and go down to catch fish. The current over there is actually quite fast, and it is not very suitable for going into the water. Don't think about it. Don't be jealous of me making money. Come to the northwest with me after the Chinese New Year. If you do well, you can make tens of thousands of yuan a month without any problem. Hongming, you have to listen to your brother. Going into the sea is not fun. People in Shanglin village can swim, but they will still be drowned in the sea. Lin Shuang heard what the two brothers said and said to Cai Hongming worriedly, I know, Mom. Seeing that his mother also said so, Cai Hongming could only nod and agree. Eat, eat. Cai Lang said beside him, and first picked up a piece of golden and crispy fried stonefish meat and ate it. It tasted really good. During this period, Cai Hongming secretly nourished his body with a water-diluted jade toad liquid, and his physical condition improved a lot. He spoke and walked with a sonorous sound, and his grey hair gradually turned black, and his lost teeth actually grew out. It was as if he suddenly became several dozen years younger, and looked like he was about 50 instead of 80. Similarly, his second uncle and second aunt also looked much younger recently, all because he secretly put the water-diluted jade toad liquid in the soup and dishes. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.